Major world political leaders have gathered at an AI summit in France.
The summit in Paris brings glitz and fanfare. Dignitaries range from the co-host, India's Prime Minister, and the US Vice President, to the bosses of Google and OpenAI. It's a chance for France and the European Union broadly to project themselves as leading players in this fast-moving frontier. On Sunday, President Macron said France would attract $112 billion of investments in AI in the coming years. But there's a wider context. The EU is keen not to get left behind in a field dominated by the US and China.
The BBC's Danny Aberhart. Israeli police have raided a long-established Palestinian-owned bookstore in East Jerusalem, detaining the owners and confiscating books about the decades-long Israel-Palestinian conflict. Police say the books are inflammatory, inciting violence. News and analysis, townhall.com. The Trump administration ordering the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to stop just about all of its work, effectively shutting down the agency created after the 2008 financial crisis and subprime mortgage lending scandal. Russell Vode is the new director of the Office of Management and Budget. He directed the CFPB to stop work on proposed rules, to suspend the effective dates of any rules that were finalized but not yet in effect, and also to stop investigative work and not begin any new investigations. A federal court has blocked the Trump administration from sending 3 Venezuelans held in New Mexico to Guantanamo Bay Naval Base in Cuba. It's part of President Trump's illegal immigration crackdown. In a legal filing over the weekend, lawyers for the men asked the court for a temporary restraining order blocking their transfer. President Trump has vowed to deport the estimated 11.7 million people illegally in the U.S. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy. Good thing my song's bleeding right over this. I'm not going to turn mine down. So.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird music mix. Honestly, only out of spite. Only just so I could do that this morning. That's really the only reason I was rooting for the Eagles.
Chiefs fans or for me?
Well, a little bit of both. I knew that I was going into Chiefs territory last night at the party. I knew everybody was going to be pulling for Chiefs for a couple of different reasons.
Yeah.
Mahomes was, a tech guy, so
he's kind of a local kid.
So there was a lot of local love there.
Yeah.
So just to be a contrarian, just to be a contrarian, I decided, you know what, go green.
Just to be the other guy,
That's right.
The devil's advocate, if you will.
The devil's avocado.
Well, congrats. The Eagles
Indeed.
did just destroy the Chiefs in that Super Bowl last night. That was kind of...
Mahomes woke up in the third quarter. Was like, "Oh, we're at the Super Bowl, huh?"
You know what? It makes me feel kind of like we played against Philly better than the Chiefs
That's true.
did.
That is true. You definitely gave them a run for their money.
Like if them butts were candy and nuts, what a party we'd have. But if Washington happened to win last week, I think they would have put a woodshed to. If the Chiefs showed up like that,
yeah, It definitely would have been a bit of a slobber knocker.
You'd have to be playing
as they
Halo
say.
the Commanders on that thing. That's all I'm saying. But
It was it was a fun game to watch. It was a fun. Let me rephrase that. It was a fun game to watch for me, not necessarily because of the game, but because of some of the activity that was happening at the party that we were at.
Yeah.
Mostly to do with involving squares.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of square.
Dude,
How much did Thomas win?
you were gone by this point, but the fourth
I was
quarter,
keeping tabs.
We're going to get there. Hang on.
Yeah.
The fourth quarter was such a roller coaster.
Because that thing kept changing back and forth. Like
at one point,
and then that 6 rolled in
at
and
one
kind of threw a
point,
bunch
Misty was walking. Actually, when the 6 rolled in,
Yeah.
I was up for like 3 good minutes. There is 3.
I was in.
I had a chance. I'm like, just hold. Of course they didn't. And so yeah, it was first it was me, then it was Misty, and then it is that last score. It jumped over to Thomas. So
Yeah.
Thomas got the fourth quarter.
And
I
the first
believe he got
quarter.
the first quarter.
Yeah.
Belinda, I think, got quarters 2. No, I'm sorry. Somebody else at the party got
It's quarter 3.
it's quarter 3.
Christy?
Yeah, Christy got third quarter, but I think Belinda got second quarter.
Yeah.
So
Belinda wins every year.
every single year, and I figured
And she
out
never goes to the party.
next year I'm gonna buy a line, a whole line, just to give myself one full block
He means of squares,
of squares.
not cocaine.
No, do they
in case.
refer to it by blocks? I guess
Well, you said
bricks.
lines.
I did say one full line.
You said you're going to buy a whole line.
Whole line. You know what? Lines for everybody.
So I had to clarify. Did I miss something at
But,
this party?
It was definitely a mixed bag commercial wise. There was a lot to watch.
I got to be honest. I didn't get I've missed a bunch of them. I saw kind of some in the background, so I didn't catch them. So I some I saw. The ones that I saw, like got to sit down and watch and pay attention to, were meh. I do want to pay more attention to the Pringles one.
Yeah.
And the Little Caesars one, because I'm like, there seems
lot
to
of
be
flying hair.
a theme of flying hair between Eugene Levy's eyebrows flying around for the Little Caesars commercial, and then the medley of Pringles mustaches flying for the Pringles chips.
By the way,
commercial.
those crazy puffs that they were talking that they're going off on from Little Caesars.
Yeah.
It's like the easiest thing in the world to just make at
Yeah.
home.
Okay, and then now, okay, I have a question because I feel like either am I ahead of the game on something or did I miss something? Because I know Reese's has been they had preview sneaker Super Bowl commercials, sneak peek type deals for the peanut butter cups with lava, the chocolate lava. And then they of course they play the Super Bowl ad. All right, I feel like I've been eating these chocolate lava.
They've been out for a while.
Like 6 months.
Yeah, they've been out for a while.
And I'm like, I thought there was like a new version of it. Like there's something new. I was like, this ain't new. This is like something we've had for a while.
Yeah, they had some. Okay, so like a year
They're
ago,
delicious, by the way. Don't get me wrong.
A year ago, they had the Reese's Big Cup with fudge.
Yeah.
That was a little different. This
No,
is
I've had these lava ones.
Yeah.
This had lava on it.
and it was, and they're all right.
I like them because I always kind of like thought if the peanut butter cup had a gooey chocolate element to it, that might be pretty on point.
I don't think that
it wouldn't. It did not disappoint.
Yeah, I don't think that they were going for it being a new thing. I think that's just their feature.
The way they were teasing the commercials and like I was like, oh, I thought maybe they were. I don't know, like if it was going to explode or something, like Pop Rocks.
Right.
I know what was going to happen next. I was like, this is just the same stupid stuff I've been eating for 6 months.
It's just a commercial.
Like,
Duncan had a great ad.
I missed the Duncan ad.
You got to go back and watch it. No, there's two versions. There's the ad.
I missed both.
Well, you're not going to. You didn't see the other one last night. There's an ad, but there's a 7-minute mini movie called Dunk Kings 2.
Okay.
But it stars everybody who was in the commercial. Bill Belichick's in it.
Tom Brady.
I don't think Tom Brady
was
was
in the last year's Dunk Kings.
Ben Affleck's obviously in it. There's a couple other people.
Matt
but
Damon.
The one that I caught that I don't think anybody else caught. Right, it was just a quick shot as they walked into the room. Jay and Silent Bob.
Nice.
I don't know if they were as Jay and Silent Bob, but it was Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes were there.
Well,
I thought that was
for people who don't know, they kind of attached at the hip with Affleck and
that's why I was
Damon.
like, is this like, are they doing some kind of Mallrats reference or Maybe a reference to like Chasing Amy or Dogma.
Maybe they're going to because you tell me that Kevin Smith got the rights to.
He bought out. He
got
bought
him
the
back
rights
from
Weinstein,
the pedophile dude, Weinstein. Not pedophile. He was a.
No, he was just
a rapist.
Yeah, just a rapist.
Just a garden variety rapist.
But it was that was the other theme last night was everybody was just like, let's throw every celebrity we can into this thing, almost for no reason.
Yeah.
Like with the Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth were wandering around Kris Jenner's house. It was for the Meta Ray-Bans.
Okay, I missed that one. I want to see. I caught it, but I didn't catch it. The whole McConaughey, was it DoorDash or Uber Eats or whichever ones that he works for?
Yeah, I don't think I saw that one either.
Well, it was the whole where it continues on with his conspiracy that the NFL is just a marketing tool for food.
Oh,
and so it was something like. But he went into a whole diatribe with dressing up as Ditka, and then like in these different. And I didn't catch the commercial. Like, it was on in the background.
I'm gonna have to go back and see if I can
so
find
I gotta pay more attention to that one.
I was gonna say Matthew McConaughey's planning something.
What do you mean?
Because he was in like he was like in 3 Super Bowl commercials. Like
was he?
Or at least 2.
He's got bills to pay, I'm guessing, or he's just he's
he's just either bored or he's planning something.
Well, he hawks a lot of things. He always does. Like, I mean, he does Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
He does. I know he's done like Doritos or Lay's.
Well, and don't forget about the Texas oil company, whatever.
Yeah,
he does
he does.
He does that AI one with Woody Harrelson.
Chat GPT had a commercial last night, which I thought was very odd. It's like, really, y'all need to advertise?
I missed that one.
Yeah. Then there was the creepy side of the Super Bowl commercials.
The AI stuff?
No, not the AI stuff so much, but I did point out whenever I saw AI, that really bothered me. I think I will be boycotting Mountain Dew Baja Blast for what they did to my eyes last night. Watching Seal as a seal.
Oh. I'm not going to lie. I can't believe I had to wait till 2025 to see Seal as a seal.
Well, we didn't have the technology yet, all right?
Surely they could have crowbarred him in a Pixar animation thing.
The tech had to come around. But then, and they're usually really good at making disturbing ads, but Tubi had the most disturbing commercial I may have seen in my entire life.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the cowboy, the shaped head, and the Harry Potter shaped head people. That was.
It left us with so many questions. Like
it felt very oogie.
Is that kid's mom okay after giving birth to him?
Yeah.
There were so many questions left unanswered.
Well, why don't they get hair? I mean, then they get some hair.
Right.
It was just not right.
I don't know if that would make it better.
Yeah.
But
I like the messaging at the end of the commercial.
Yeah.
Well, it's not you, buddy. This is just be who you really are.
Yeah, when they put the repeat, but it's just weird. Mm-hmm. I did not like
it.
That
it was very off-putting. Yeah. Yes.
It was like like I said, with the AI, but it almost had a Dr. Seuss HR Puffin stuff feel to it. Which we know how my feeling of HR Puffin stuff. That's the devil.
I feel like your and my uncanny valley are slightly off, like different, but then there's that one point where they come together. It's like convergence.
Yeah.
This is weird to everybody.
Yeah. So, but I got to go back. Today, if I got some time, I'm sure there's some website that summarizes all the commercials.
Oh yeah.
Zip through. Ooh, I just got a Dunkin' notification.
They were listening.
It was from the Dunk Kings. Let's see what they. Because I know I did get during the Super Bowl a notification, saying now to put your code in to get your Dunk Kings exclusive swag, and I didn't care that much. I did not.
No.
Do that.
But
I was knee deep into meatballs and little smokies.
Oh yeah, great snacks last night, by the way.
Yeah,
fantastic eats.
Yeah, my poppers were a hit.
They really were.
My wife's poppers. I helped though.
Mm-hmm.
I did at least 47% of the work.
Nice. That's what we call the old college effort.
That's right. All right, let me get the show going here. We do have a full slate for you today. Matt Bristol with Bristol Law is going to join us here in just a few minutes for his monthly visit. And as he does each and every month, just gives us good advice when it comes to financial planning, to legal planning, and all that good stuff for our family, for your business, things like that. So we'll chit chat here in just a bit. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, Maureen McGinn's going to be joining us to talk about, of course, this month is Black History Month. Well, this Saturday at the Roswell Public Library, they're going to have their Blackdom event, Blackdom Legacy Day. That's this Saturday. So Maureen's going to come in and talk all about that event at the library. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, Amy McVeigh-Tejas will drop by and give us an update on Historical Society. I believe we're now in the scholarship window. I think they've put that up for kids for scholarships. We do have a Dine to Donate night over at Texas Roadhouse coming up. And so that and a few other things we'll put on your radar here in the 9 o'clock hour. Plus, we'll have all of your newses of the local, national variety, Wall Street business updates, and sports, and various other rantings as well. But first, here is your weather, which not going to be next. It's not last week. It's not going to be. It's a little roller coaster. Like today, we're in the 50s and 70 tomorrow, then back down in the 50s. So it's one of those kind of weeks.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Cloudy and cool today. We have a little cold front dropping through the area, maybe a little bit of drizzle, and our afternoon high stays in the mid-50s. For the overnight hours, we'll stay cloudy, upper 30s to mid-40s on the low, and then we're back to sunny and warmer weather on Tuesday with high pressure moving in. We're back up to about 70, low 60s, and sunny on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 36 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 64%. Winds are calm at the moment. Mid-50s expected high today under cloudy skies, which they're cloudy. Expect the high of 56, south winds 10 to 15. So a little breezy, too. Cloudy tonight, then gradually becoming partly cloudy. Overnight low of 39, so relatively warm overnight still. South winds at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. We're going to hit 70 tomorrow under mostly sunny skies with northwest winds 5 to 10 for the morning. Southwest and 15 to 20 for tomorrow afternoon. It's a little breezy as well. Tuesday night, mostly cloudy. Overnight low of 38 degrees. And Wednesday, back up into the mid-60s under mostly sunny skies. For Thursday, partly cloudy, back down into the mid-50s. And then Friday, mostly cloudy, but back up to a high near 70. And then for the weekend, a football-free weekend, I might add, for the first time in a few months. Saturday, mostly sunny, 65. Sunny and 61 on Sunday. So not too shabby. You can get out there and get your honeydews done. All right, 7:20, we're going to take a 3.5-minute break, and then Matt Bristol with Bristol Law Office will join us. Don't go away.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A lighter February run this week following Super Bowl Sunday, but a good selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves, light yearlings, bred cows. We expect to sell 1,250 head, breaking down like this: 125, 150 weight cows and bulls, 125, 150 pairs bred cows, 900 950 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 10 to 15 cow-calf pairs, mostly black white-face Angus and Brangus crossbred cows with black calves at side, pairs 6 to 10 years old, 46 bred cows. Kim Chesser here south of Roswell, quality black Angus and Brangus cross cows, mostly third trimester bred, cows 8 to 10 years old, 21 bred cows. Cordova Ranch, Los Lunas, New Mexico, quality black white-face, red white-face and white-face English crossbred cows, bred to Angus bulls. These cows are young, 2 to 5 years old, 30 calves. Casabone Ranch at Hope, Reputation quality black Angus calves, cattle wean 30 days, 2 rounds of shots, 450, 600 pounds. 70 calves and light yearlings, Mr. Wade Berry, Lake Arthur, New Mexico, quality black white-face Angus and Brangus crosses, cattle wean 90 plus days, 1 round of shots, 450, 650 pounds. 75 calves, McDonald Ranch, Loving, New Mexico, quality black white-face, red white-face English crossbred calves, cattle wean 30 days, 2 rounds of shots, 375, 550 pounds. 60 steer calves, Marley and Marley here north of Roswell, excellent quality black Angus and Brangus crosses, cattle wean 60 days, 1 round of shots, 400, 575 pounds. And 49 calves, Mr. Ross Duncan Properties, Artesia, New Mexico, quality black Brangus crossbred calves, 1 round of shots at Brandon, 400, 550 pounds. Several smaller consignments of high-quality calves and light yearlings with condition. Sale time this morning will be at 9 o'clock. Sell pairs of bred cows 9:45. Be selling calves and yearlings about 10:30. Fairly light on weigh cows and bulls. Be on bred cows and calves and yearlings pretty quick. We expect to sell 1,250 head today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Are you ready to succeed? At ENMU Roswell, they cater to your educational needs. Their dedicated facilities and faculties provide you with an exceptional learning experience. From academic programs to behavioral sciences, business, health education, or technical education, ENMU Roswell offers a wide variety of certifications and degree programs designed to take your education and experience to the next level. Register now on campus or online at roswell.enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Success starts here.
Attention Roswell, the all-new Roswell Ford is back and open for business for service, parts, and sales at our dealership at 821 North Main Street. Our goal for 2025 is to make buying a new Ford and quality pre-owned vehicle super fun, super fast, and super easy. In fact, we'll give you the price we give to a friend or family member right up front. Bring us any trade in any condition. Don't even wash it. At Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? We can help. We'll take your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with even more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, and even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Huge savings, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance, plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The Goodyear Rubber Company researched and concluded that shoes wear out faster on the right foot than on the left. To fix this, just walk backwards for half the day. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 25 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the fourth floor, Matt Bristol from Bristol Law Office, back with us this morning. Good morning, Matt.
Morning, Mike. How you doing?
Doing well. Happy Monday. How about yourself?
Oh, happy Monday. Doing good. Good.
Good.
I see you and Sean watched the game last night.
We did. Yeah, us and millions others there, and watched. So you kind of, even though you're not a football fan, you pretty much watch the whole game and everything else. And
yeah, watched the game.
Do you root for a team or just watch it?
I did not root for a team.
Okay.
I hadn't watched any football season.
Yes,
I
didn't know.
Guy.
I didn't know if you're just kind of pick, oh yeah, or do you go as the game? Because like a lot of times if there's a game I'll turn on that I really just don't care about either team, I'll kind of just go with the flow and like, ooh, that was a good play, I'm going to keep rooting for them, or something like that. So I didn't know if that the Eagles like lured you to keep rooting them for them or something. Or
I was just watching it, wasn't really rooting for anybody, but
Gotcha.
But yeah, too bad the Kansas City didn't show up for the game. The Philadelphia just really kicked the first half.
Yeah,
amazing.
Defense won championships last night, I think it's safe to say. Turnovers were the reason the Chiefs are not hoisting a Super Bowl trophy again.
Well, Philadelphia got more points in the first half than Kansas City got offensive yards.
Yeah.
That's pretty sad.
Yep.
Pretty bad.
Yep. They tipped to the Philadelphia Eagles. They played a lights out game last night. So.
Well, and since our last meeting, we had the council banquet, and you did the Eagle Court of Honor thing this year again. Thank you so much.
That was an honor to do that, and to welcome in the 2025 Eagle Scout class. The Keystone Council's first female Eagle Scout is among that class as well too. And I always like that opportunity because you get a chance to meet. Usually. Unfortunately, I didn't get to meet all of them this year, but usually you get to meet the Eagle class, and it's kind of neat to just meet. Most of them are usually like that 17 and a half or 18 at that point, depending on, but every once in a while you meet one of the younger ones and it's just kind of chance to, it's just neat for me because I'm not going to lie, I'm getting older and I'm getting that get off my lawn, kind of mentality and sometimes the older you get, the more you kind of, these people today, I don't have faith in. And then I start talking to some of these kids.
They start meeting the Eagle Scouts.
Yeah. They're like, we'll be all right.
Yeah, it's always good to meet the kids and talk to them. And
so that's always the kind of my favorite part of it is just to see these kids and get to see, just see their feats and see the amazing accomplishments they've done and where they're going to next and all that. And I really do like that the council does that patio as an homage to our Eagles.
Yes, it is a nice feature.
Because I think, and this is something that happens at every Eagle dedication, and I hope it happens more often than that, is you go out in that patio and there's always some family members that, hey, and they're moving way down to that far end of the patio where those dates from the 70s and 60s and all that. And they're like, that's me right there, and I love seeing that.
Oh, yeah. And they now recognize some of the names as adults now.
Yeah. And some of them, they got as a kid. Now they're a scoutmaster in one of the troops in town. So it's just a great way to honor and to remember not only the Eagles, but really the history of the council.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. So check it out. Go down to their scout hut in Aspen. You can go on down there and pop in anytime. And, go if you need some camping gear or some scout stuff, too, you can help out and buy some of that, too. Yeah. You never know. There's some camping tools down there. Might just save your neck one day keeping your car.
Be prepared. That's our motto.
That's right. You never know when you might need a little thing to start some fire real quick. And throw that in your trunk or throw it in your glove box. You never know.
Yeah, it's one of the things, though, is so many kids these days are taught, don't play with fire and don't do stuff. And, I have to teach the kids how to use a lighter. I mean, my age,
right?
When we were kids,
right?
we were pyromaniacs.
Take them away because they're like, no, you will get this when you need it.
So it's a little different, but the kids are coming along, and it's good to see the Eagle Scouts and the kids progress.
Yeah,
it's a warm feeling.
Absolutely. So, but I would invite folks to come check it out if you get a chance. And scouting's a great organization. I'll always. I will tell you this, and I say it every time, and who I am today, my life experiences, any of that, the foundation for everything I've done in my life since then, scouting's played a huge role in that. And the experiences I got to do in scouting, the things I've got to do in scouting, has set the table for successes for me later down the road. So,
hey, me too. Amen.
I attribute all that to scouting. So. It's a good thing for your kids. Check it out.
Get your kids in there, females too.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the great beauty of it now is any child, once they hit, 7, 6? How young do they start now?
Tiger Cubs? They have Tiger Cubs.
They used to be 7.
Cub Scouts up through about 6th grade or so. Yeah. And then they can join the Boy Scouts.
And then they can stay involved in scouting USA. All up until 21 years of age.
So. And the female troop meets Monday nights. That's tonight, Bethel Baptist Church.
Very good.
So bring out your daughters.
There you go. Come on in. And then call Scout headquarters or go to the Conquistador Council Facebook page, any of these ways, and reach out, and they'll be happy to talk to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So for folks not familiar, Matt joins us each month to just talk a little bit about, as his day job as a lawyer when he's not helping and doing scout stuff. He is an attorney. And, of course, you do a lot with business law, setting up, business, protections and things, family law from, divorces and things like that and wills and stuff. So a lot of your area of law deals with a lot of preparatory work or should involve preparatory work. And if you're not, then you're going to have a lot of problems on the back end. So seeing a guy like Matt on the first place will probably save you a lot of headaches down the road.
Absolutely. It's the older I get, it's the better to avoid problems and try and solve problems. And we talked a little bit about taxes, last month and things.
Tis the season.
And so thought we'd kind of continue that theme, maybe talk about business stuff. So there's different types of business entities, and some are easy to use, some are more difficult to use. And then some are more advantageous and some are less advantageous liability-wise. But I'm just, totally amazed that, once a month we get this call that says, well, I have a business and the business needs to file a bankruptcy. And, well, okay, what kind of business do you have? Well, it's an LLC. Well, LLCs don't file bankruptcies, so let's talk a little bit more.
Yeah, I was say that's what the LLC protections are supposed to prevent from happening.
Exactamente. So yes, so sole proprietorship is when just a guy is in business, but that makes you personally liable for all the business debts. but it's really easy to use. It's very simple. For a small business, it's probably just fine.
Gotcha.
And but your business, you're always looking at, well, what liabilities may be created or occur. So that really determines, what kind of business entity you want to use. Partnerships are okay.
There's a trust factor there.
There's big, huge trust factor.
Yeah.
Because it's like being married is, your partner can run up all sorts of debt in the partnership that you don't know about.
You both have equal say in everything. Therefore, if you don't trust each other, you could equally destroy each other.
Yeah, so there's nobody in charge. There's no tie break.
But if someone goes postal or crazy, when you can't really stop it.
That's right. And then not only is Mike liable for his partner's deaths, but then Mike's wife is liable because it's community property.
Yeah. So that one, you got to do your due diligence on the front end on that one.
Got to be really, really careful.
But then again, if you really trust it, maybe it's a wife, mother, husband-wife business or something, and your relationship's good there, that's fine. But I'm just saying that's the one. It's kind of like they never tell you when you get a tattoo of a girlfriend or boyfriend's name on it. We're going to that territory with partnerships. That's all.
Yeah. Well, communication's key. So whether you're a multi-member LLC or corporation or partnership, communication with the other folks is just a huge factor.
Sure.
Way back, I was partnered up with another attorney. And so one of the things I did was I made sure that all the checks that we had required double signatures. And so that way he saw every single check that went out of the business.
Create its own checks and balances here. Pardon the pun, but really literally on that one. But
he knew every bill was getting paid.
Sure.
It was getting paid on time.
Sure.
How much the bill was. So I wanted him to know.
Sure.
Because it kind of got thrown on me to take care of the daily business.
Sure.
But this way he knew what was going on.
Well, and that way it makes it really hard to, do something nefarious to the other if both have to sign everything to do it, to get it done.
Well, there's that too. Yeah.
It's kind of a built-in security plan to a point there.
Yeah. So even in a multi-member LLC, generally what we see is there's one person who handles the business and the other guys are doing business stuff, but they're not paying attention.
Sure.
There's no communication.
And one person has the authorization to do everything, and the others just kind of, that's fine, and then go on with it.
Yeah.
That's fine until the person that has all the power isn't what they say they are.
Well, there you go. And there's a lot of my bookkeeper's fault or the partner's fault.
Usually that'll start a lot of, series you'll see on like Amazon Prime or something. They'll start because some of the work that we're talking about here wasn't done in the first place. Now you got a legal series starting, Billy Bob Thornton or something. So.
Well, you got to pay attention to business. Just got to. So people, we have LLCs and we have corporations, and we do that to shield us personally from the business debts.
Mm-hmm.
And every month somebody's saying, I got an LLC, having a hard time paying bills. It's like, okay, well, who did your LLC for you? And it's either the accountant did it or they went online and did it themselves. And so I'm like, okay, so you didn't get the duck speech, did you?
Yeah.
And what's the duck speech? Well, if you want to be treated like a duck, you have to walk like a duck and quack like a duck.
Well, it's the same adage in life that everything else. Things come with strings.
Yep.
And if you're okay with the strings, then generally it's not a problem. But if you don't pay attention to the strings and abide by the strings, that might be a problem.
That's right.
That's what an LLC is.
And if you want to be treated like an LLC, if you want that shield from personal liability, number one, you have to put LLC on all the paperwork. You have to advertise to the public at large. You're an LLC. You're not going to be personally liable. So it has to be on your website. It has to be on all your printed material.
Any advertisements you do
all the
for your
advertisements.
business. Yeah.
If you got a car, it needs to say LLC on the car. You got a billboard, whatever.
And I'm telling you right now, there are small business owners in this town right now, because I've dealt with this personally in commercials, that are LLC businesses throughout the southeast New Mexico. I'm not singling one out, but I've had in the issues where I put that in their ads and they said, no, take it out. And I'm like, no, you can't. I got to mention at least once in here somewhere. And they're like, no, and I'm like, dude, read your LLC rules.
Exactly. I'm trying to save your butt here, buddy.
I literally got an argument over a lady about that
years right?
ago. And I'm like, ladies, it's got to be in there. I said, because if you get sued, I'm going to. She went out of business 6 months later. Something like that. But I don't know if it's related to what I'm talking about, but I kind of saw that right now. But anyway.
Oh, yeah. Well, the other thing, the hugely important thing is how people sign contracts. And so a lot of people say, 106.5 LLC by Mike Winters. Well, when Mike Winters signs, Mike Winters is liable.
Gotcha.
So Mike just signed as his individual capacity.
Which puts you on the hook for...
You're individual liable now.
Yeah.
Why have an LLC if you're going to screw that up? And so when people say, well, does my business need to file bankruptcy? I'm generally no. Because but you may have to, because how did you sign your contract?
So for people, when you sign a contract, you just sign it, the business name LLC, or do you put, as representative of LLC, your name? How does that work?
Very good. Very good question. It's basically as a representative.
Okay.
So if you've ever had a power of attorney for somebody, grandma, and you say, Mike, as power of attorney for grandma. So you have to do the same thing with a corporation or LLC.
Gotcha.
So for an LLC, you would sign, 106.5 LLC by Mike Winters, who is a member of the LLC.
Gotcha.
So you sign as a member. You could put agent, representative,
Sure.
something to indicate you're signing on behalf of another
Sure.
entity, the
Gotcha.
LLC. And that's what makes the LLC liable, not you.
Makes sense. So
that was a very good question.
So folks, all you folks have LLCs, remember that next time you sign in, those important documents that are
hugely important.
I don't think you need to sign that for your bread order, but you probably would need to sign it when you're talking about, some of your other asset protections and various other, parts of the business.
Yeah, so I tell my folks, if you got a vendor and they're sending bills, and it says Mike Winters 106.5, you send that thing right back and you say change your records.
Yeah,
it needs to say LLC on there.
Yeah.
Change that record for the vendor right away.
Sure, absolutely. So, but anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah, but the reverse is also true, and people don't even think about that. So I come to Mike and say, hey, I want to do business with you, and I sign a contract that says, Matt Bristol LLC. Well, now Mike says, ooh, wait a minute, Matt, I'm going to need a personal guarantee on that contract.
Yeah, and it makes sense because really, you're off the hook for anything. Like, say if this thing goes south, I can't do a thing about it because I'm dealings with the LLC and not Matt Bristol.
And the LLC gets sued, I walk away, and I'm cool.
Yeah.
So now Mike has the opportunity to say, whoa, wait a minute, I need a personal guarantee on this contract.
Yeah. Just between you and me, not your LLC.
Yeah.
Or okay, well, fine. It's my LLC versus your LLC. But you're right. Yeah, that's something you got to, and so you need to think about that too if you are getting in dealings with a business, and then if you do have dissatisfied service and your recourses against an I mean, I'm not talking about if you got a bad sandwich or something, but say a slip and fall or something more egregious happens with that business, they have protections and there's things you can and can't go after.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of idle loans actually come up. If you remember the COVID economic injury disaster loans.
Yeah.
So under a certain dollar amount, the idle loans would be in the name of the LLC or the name of the corporation. And so we're seeing businesses now that didn't quite make it through COVID, and they're saying, what do I do with this idle loan? I said, well, if it's under that certain amount, if it's in the LLC name, you walk away.
Gotcha.
They can sue the LLC all they want. But over a certain amount, the SBA required personal guarantees.
Interesting.
So the loans can be bankrupted if the other factors are met.
Gotcha.
But it's interesting how, 5 years, 4 years later, we're seeing this stuff.
And this is why you got to pay attention and things, especially if you're a business owner. And a small business owner is, this is probably, I'm going to guess, where your business makes plenty of money, because you at the end of the day you get business owners, especially mom and pop businesses, that they know everything about the product that they're selling. They got into business because they love the widget, the product, or whatever it is they're doing, whether it's food or whatever. But where they lack in is, okay, how do I market? How do I do the business side? And then you do certain things, but then you realize, oh, there's laws and things on how. And so this is why, if I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to start a small business, you need to, in your checklist of things to do, one of your first 4 or 5 things on that list needs to be to talk to Matt, or a guy like Matt, and say, what do I need to do to protect myself, to do, maybe it's, we were just talking about like kind of the different types of businesses to set up, whether it's a partnership, an LLC, or, whatever it is. Maybe you need to have that conversation first and say, who's involved, and, maybe
how many people. Yeah.
Maybe an LLC is not the way to go for us, or maybe the partnership's not the way. Maybe we should consider an LLC that way. Whatever that is, you need to have those conversations before, you open the storefront and start letting customers in the room.
Yeah, and West Corp helps people start businesses. The university has a small business development center, helps people start businesses. I talked to an accountant. When I was setting up my business, attorneys have operating accounts and trust accounts. And the trust account has certain requirements. So I was meeting with the accountant to make sure I was doing everything the state bar required. I had charged sales tax, so I was setting up my sales tax records to make sure I paid my sales tax correctly and not over or underpaid. And so, folks, here I am. This is about the 3rd or 4th visit with the accountant. And he kind of, as the side, talks about estimated quarterly payments. And I'm like, whoa. Back that up. What's an estimated quarterly payment?
Yeah.
He says, well, that's how you pay your income tax. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is the first time I've heard about these. It's my 4th visit. Hello. Well, how come you didn't mention this sooner?
Yeah, that's kind of estimated.
Yeah. So
we just throwing numbers out on the dartboard now?
I guess. I think I'm going to owe $1. Here you go, Uncle Sam.
I estimate none. See you later.
Yeah.
Just out estimating.
Like, what the heck's going on?
Yeah.
So be sure to ask your accountant about those estimated quarterly tax payments.
Sure.
Because that's how you pay your income tax. And then there's a right way to do it, and boy, there's a wrong way to do it. And so the accountants darn their little accounting hearts. So what they'll tell you is that even now, Mike Winters, you have to have at least 90% of your tax liability withheld, or you're penalized. That's for everybody.
That's the standard.
That's the standard. Well, it applies for self-employed people. Well, what if your self-employment income is all over the place, and you don't want to be penalized?
Gotcha.
So there's a safe harbor for self-employed people. So
makes sense.
You either pay 90% of the tax liability, or if you paid at least as much as you owed last year,
gotcha,
you're safe.
It's kind of like that community chest or in Monopoly, we get the pay, was a poor tax, either 10% or $75, whichever, same kind of deal.
Yeah. So if you paid at least as much as you paid last year, even if it's not the 90%, there's no penalty.
Sure.
And since this is your first year in business,
there's not really
well, last year you paid $0.
Right. And there's no track record.
Well, but your first year in business, you don't have to pay any estimated quarterlies because your prior year you paid $0.
Gotcha.
But what the accountant doesn't tell you is, oh, by the way, on April 15th next year, it all comes crashing down all at once.
Now you're going to do it all.
Pay a whole year's taxes in 1 month. Yeah.
Get hit with a fat check or fat bill at one time.
Yeah. They don't tell you that part. Golly, guys, you give me a break.
But that is something that, when you have to factor in, most of us, if you work for a business or work for a government entity, that kind of all gets calculated out and taken care of in the wash here. But
it comes out of your check. You never think about it.
But if it's your business and you're the boss, the buck stops with you. You still have to pay taxes. Any income you earn, Uncle Sam wants their taste. And if you don't do that right, they will come and get their taste.
Yeah. So be sure. start setting those taxes aside with the very first month.
And if you are the CEO or FCO or the head kahuna here at the business, there ain't no one else to say, you're going to withhold my taxes? No, it's you.
Yes.
There's no billing department or no finance department to withhold your taxes with, or HR department to take care of these things.
It's a huge surprise. Yeah, you got to be sure and do that.
Yeah.
So for small self-employed people, like hairdressers and barbers and stuff like that, a lot of times they don't report all their income, and
tips and things like that, gratuities, that kind of side of stuff.
Well, I'm not the IRS. I don't care whether they do or not. But the problem is if you're not reporting all of your income, you're not paying Social Security. And if you're not paying into the system, you're not going to get out of the system.
Can't take out as much. Yeah, that's true. That's a true statement. You think about that a little bit. At some point, you would like to get your retirement check from the government at some point.
Well, even disability.
Yeah, or if you have to get in early disability or something like that.
You have to pay it in. You're not going to get any money out.
Nope.
So working under the table, unreported income. Think twice about that kind of stuff for that reason.
Sure. Absolutely. It's kind of, and that's it too, is just, as a small bit, under reporting your taxes and all, it's going to catch up with you. It always does.
It's one way or the other.
It will, because what happens is that when you fudge it one year, then you have to fudge it the next, and then it snowballs into this thing. And next thing you know, you're holding this big bag of stink that you can't get out of. And a guy like Matt's going to have to tell you, I can clean up some of this, but you're going to have to take a big bite of a poop sandwich to get out of this one.
Sometimes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So do your homework and prevent those headaches and that's just it. Just because you don't know as a business owner is not excuse. Lack of knowledge of the law does not exempt you from it.
Unfortunately,
that doesn't work in the United States of America. So the onus is on you to educate yourself if you're going to be a business owner. And same thing with families too. If you're going to start a family and do all this stuff, you got to protect your family. You got to do your wills. You got to do, protect your assets. If you're hoping to leave something for the next generation, you got to set that stuff up. It ain't just going to do it itself.
That's right.
And so you need to be proactive about that stuff. And I really think, yes, when there's things of convenience, generally you sacrifice quality for convenience. And so there's many convenient ways to do some of these things. You will sacrifice quality. So if you're starting a will and you really don't have a lot, you could probably get away with doing one of these things online real quick. But the moment you get kids in the equation or any of this kind of stuff, I would talk to a guy like Matt.
Well, yeah, it's just like these LLC, I got the paperwork online.
Yeah.
Okay, but you didn't get the duck speech, did you?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the duck speech? So, online only works to a certain extent and then no further.
Yeah.
And so you just got to be smart about how you do things.
Absolutely.
And one of the cool things about being self-employed, so I had a buddy and he had several rental houses, but he wasn't thinking of it as that's a business. It was just, he was just doing it.
Right.
He had rental income and he's buying other properties and other stuff.
It was a little hobby for him, I guess you could call it. Yeah, it was making a little money.
Well, but most people, he was all just himself and his wife.
Sure.
And, but he had two young teenagers or a teen and a preteen. And so I asked him, I said, well, Mike, are you employing your kids? Are they on the payroll? He says, well, no. I said, we a 1099, anything? He goes, no. What are you talking about? I said, well, the way the language for a Roth IRA is written is that people can contribute to a Roth IRA 100% of their earned income up to $6,000 a year, or maybe $7,000 now. So
if you're smart, make some employees, you can set them up and start an IRA through there and start their path to retirement.
Bingo, when they're 12 years old.
Yep. Through their business.
Now, the IRS has guidelines as to how much you can pay your kids. So talk to the accountant about that. And, it's got to be earned income, so they may have to report a 1099.
And those kids are labor. I don't care what you said. Anytime Dad make you go out and do all that stuff and you don't get no paycheck.
Take out the trash, sweep the floor, mow the lawn.
Now you say, yeah, you get a paycheck. You'll thank me when you're 65.
That's right. But just imagine, have that kid contribute to a Roth IRA.
Absolutely.
When they're 12 years old, 10 years old.
That's a lot of building. That's all I'm saying. That's a big snowman at the end of the day.
It is.
I just saw the time. We probably should be wrapping this up here pretty quickly here. What other things do we definitely want to get on people's radar that you wanted to mention?
Well, again, liabilities. You want to think about liabilities. Mm-hmm. So my friend, so if he's got rent houses can create liabilities. So if
a whole lot of them.
Yeah. So if he's got 10 houses under one LLC, then if there's an event with one rent house, they're going to sue the LLC and get to all of the other 9 rental properties, possibly in a lawsuit. They'll go after all the assets of the LLC.
Gotcha.
So some people have one LLC per rent house.
Gotcha. To
prevent
it's another line in the sand to a layer of protection, so to speak. Yeah.
You need to if you're in business, get an EIN, an employer identification number from the IRS. Don't use your social. You don't want that out there in the ether.
Especially in today's age of theft and identity theft. There's one more window. Yeah.
And a limited partnership is about the only asset protection vehicle that I found that actually works.
Gotcha.
So if you have enough assets, you think about something like that. But otherwise I haven't found a real asset protection vehicle, at least in this state.
Gotcha. And again, the stuff we talk about here varies state to state. We always need to remind people that, what is good in New Mexico may not be good in Texas, and oftentimes not.
Yeah.
New Mexico and Texas don't do the things the same a lot. So a lot of times, especially when in business dealings and in family, law and financial dealings, there's very, very different rules that apply to that, including, law, wills, and that kind of stuff. What's legal in New Mexico or in Texas, they're not the same. So you have to do your due diligence on that.
Exactly. Particularly if, we're going to retire and move somewhere else, be closer to the kids. Well, then in that new state, have a new attorney under those state laws review your estate plan and make sure everything's going to work properly.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just, it's especially when it comes to family law and finance, there is, New Mexico's kind of that odd thumb sometimes, it's like a lot of states fall in line. It's like, yeah, that's how you usually do it. And then you get to New Mexico, but they have this, you know what I mean? New Mexico's a lot of that, the odd thumb. And when it comes to they're the exception to the rule 9 times out of 10.
Well, I've had people move to Florida, and what Florida people tell them is that only a Florida will works in Florida. And I'm thinking, well, there's a full faith and credit part of the Constitution.
Right.
How can that be?
Right.
But I hear that pretty often, so I don't know if that's really true.
Yeah. But
check to the new state wherever you move to.
Yeah. And so when you do get your family advice on some of these things, again, trust the people. Because sometimes if grandma that lives in Virginia is telling you to do this, and you're like, yeah, that works in Virginia, that don't work in New Mexico.
Right.
You need to know.
And remember, we're community property and then only one of 8 states. So every state's different.
Yep. And that's a big tango difference when it comes to divorces and marriages and that kind of thing.
Yep. So we'll talk about that another day.
So, of course, if you have any legal needs for legal advice for your business or your family, if you want to set up an LLC or a business type here, or you're looking to set up your business, or if you're looking to do some asset protections for your family or doing some wills, things like that, BristolLawOffice.net.
.net, BristolOffice.net.
Yes.
625-5284. Give us a call, set up a consultation, and we'll talk.
Put it this way. Set up the call, set up the conversation, let Matt determine how far you need to go with something like this. Because, there might be, you could have this conversation with Matt 5 minutes later. He goes, you know what, you could go to the clerk's office, fill out a form, and you're covered and we're done here. Or it could be, you know what, no, we need to we need to get involved because you're going to need to do some things, and we need to get some signatures, and we need to get some lawyering up stuff here.
Well, and I'm a big fan of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Sure.
So if you don't need something, we'll tell you you don't need it.
Yeah.
Or if it's something that's at that point is too complicated, I'm going to tell you I can't do it. I'll screw it up.
Let me send this up the chain.
Yeah. Let me send you somebody who knows what they're doing.
Absolutely. And of course, if you got if it's a short one, we got time for a little fact or fiction here.
So in ancient Greek mythology, there was this male god, and he was chasing a goddess.
Okay.
And of course, they live in the sky, right? But she was
on clouds.
On clouds.
At least in my head.
She was pregnant, and so as she became more and more pregnant, she ran slower and slower, and so slowly he was gaining on her, and eventually she gave birth, and so now she's carrying the baby, and she's getting slower and slower. And the bad guy was getting closer and closer, and so she's running, nursing the baby, and the bad guy catches up to her. And he grabs the baby and pulls the baby away. And it spread milk all across the sky.
Ah.
And that's why it's called
the Milky Way.
The Milky Way.
Yeah.
And the Greek word for milk is gala.
Gala. Okay.
That's what they're called.
The galaxy.
Galaxies.
Yeah, nice. Very
so that's
good.
how the Milky Way came to be.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've heard a little bit of that, but not all. And I feel like there's a couple more candy bars in there too. Now I think about it. That's involved in some of the lore of the Greeks and all of that too. Mars bars, so not besides Mars bar, but anyway. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So think about that next time you have a Snickers. Just kidding, a Milky Way.
So get outside of the city, away from the lights, and look at the Milky Way.
Oh yeah, yeah. Folks out here are blessed. Growing up in I need to shut up, but growing up in East Coast Maryland, and yes, we have rural parts, but there's a lot of people, a lot of lights, a lot of brightness.
Yeah,
it's when you step out of town in New Mexico here, you get a view of the night sky. People east are very envious of. Enjoy what you have.
Absolutely, and thank you so much, Mike. Had a great
As
time.
always, appreciate it, Matt, and we'll see you next month. And
right.
Congratulations on your scouting achievements as well, too. It seems like you're getting awards every time I see you, too.
Thank you.
And again, BristolLawOffice.net. If you have any legal questions and stuff, let Matt and his team steer you in the right direction.
Yes,
Good
absolutely.
deal.
Thank you.
All right, it is 8 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. And now there are three. A third federal judge has blocked President Trump's executive order ending birthright citizenship for the children of people in the U.S. illegally. Undeterred by lawsuits and threats of lawsuits, President Trump's drive to cut government waste and reduce spending rolls on.
President Trump describes what Elon Musk is doing with DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, as terrific, and says the next departments he will focus on are education and defense.
We're going to find billions, hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud and abuse.
Trump also tells Fox News Channel's Brett Baier that's what the American people elected him to do, and that Musk is not getting anything out of it. The world's richest person has been criticized as DOGE attempts to make massive cuts, some blocked by the courts. I'm Julie Walker.
Mr. Trump spoke prior to last night's Super Bowl, becoming the first sitting American president to attend the big game. Philadelphia dominated Kansas City, defeating the Chiefs 40-22. The Eagles avenged their defeat to the Chiefs a couple of years ago and shattered Kansas City's hopes of winning a third consecutive Super Bowl title. And mayhem engulfed Philadelphia following the Eagles' big victory, with rioters setting fires in the streets and taunting police, destroying property and commandeering vehicles. President Trump planning a new round of tariffs, 25% levy on imported steel and aluminum. That's not all. He's considering tariffs on any country that taxes U.S. imports.
A country pays so much or charges us so much, and we do the same. So very reciprocal, because I think that's the only fair way to do it. That way, nobody's hurt.
In Mr. Trump's words, if they charge us, we charge them. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 146 points, NASDAQ ahead 162. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Colombia is in the grip of a political upheaval. The country's president, Gustavo Petro, moving to form a new cabinet.
Asking ministers to resign is normal protocol before a cabinet reshuffle in Colombia, but there's nothing normal about the current situation. Colombian politics has been convulsed by a scandal known as Nannygate. It involves allegations of wiretapping and illicit campaign finance, as well as a missing briefcase full of cash. Matters came to a head at a rancorous cabinet meeting last week that was broadcast live on television. The Environment Minister, Susana Mohammed, quit before the reshuffle. She said she couldn't work with the President's Chief of Staff, who's been accused of misogyny and bullying.
The BBC's James Reed. An international AI summit is underway in France. Major world political leaders meeting in Paris, where challenging diplomatic talks are expected, while tech titans fight for dominance in the fast-moving industry. News and analysis at townhall.com. No stone being left unturned as President Trump strives to spend taxpayer money more wisely. That's down to every red cent.
On Truth Social, the president wrote, quote, "For far too long, the United States has minted pennies, which literally cost us more than 2 cents. This is so wasteful. I've instructed my Secretary of the U.S. Treasury to stop producing new pennies. Let's rip the waste out of our great nation's budget, even if it's a penny at a time," end quote. According to a 2024 report from the U.S. Mint, it cost over 3 cents to produce a penny, which cost the Treasury $179 million in 2023. A nickel cost around 13 cents to manufacture. The increased production cost is partly due to the price of raw materials. Tasha Stevens reporting.
Lawyers delivering opening statements today at the trial of a man charged with trying to fatally stab author Salman Rushdie in front of a lecture audience in Western New York 2.5 years ago. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday.
Yes.
A day I'm going to take a stab. If you have a Chiefs fan in your office, they might be calling in sick.
I'm going to guess a lot of people calling in sick, even the Eagles fans. Like I said,
yeah.
Eagles, it doesn't matter if they win or lose, there's going to be rioting in the streets.
They grease the polls in New Orleans regardless.
Yep.
Yeah, Philly gonna be Philly.
Yeah.
Philly be Philly.
Sometimes Philly gone Philly. but yeah, no. All in all, it was a fun time last night.
I enjoyed most of it. I mean, at the end of the day, I didn't have a dog in the fight. So yeah, I hate the Eagles and I hate.
But that's when you get a chance to just kind of enjoy the festivities, enjoy the party a bit.
Yeah,
it was pretty funny though.
Quite frankly, as a fan of the Washington football team, Redskins, Commanders,
sure,
I've had lots and lots of years of just getting to enjoy the Super Bowl. I want my team to be in it for now.
When's gonna be my time?
I got plenty of experience.
When's gonna be my turn?
I got plenty of experience enjoying the game.
There was
1991's the last time I had a team in there that I cared about.
It was pretty funny though to me that there was a beverage last evening, a jungle juice of sorts.
Yeah,
and it was like a Long Island iced tea.
Yes, that's what they called it.
But it's so funny to me because you and your wife are so not drinkers, not people who imbibe.
Rarely drink.
That on separate occasions last night, both you and your wife came up to me to tell me how good the punch was. It was
well, you only needed one
hilarious.
glass. I had one glass, and that did me just fine.
I could see it.
I started early, and it got me through the rest
working
of
its
the
way
night.
through Kim. It was, and you guys ducked out about halftime, so that's understandable.
Yeah, well, that's us. We turned over.
Yeah, I completely understand.
We're the people that don't know who Kendrick Lamar is.
That's
so
when
we leave.
That's when the crazy starts, and that's when you need to duck out. I get it.
Well, you get home in time, and then you go. I watch a second, and then I can actually hear the commercials and pay attention. So that's the other part too. So like all the commercials I know were from the second half. So I got to see.
Those were most of the good ones. There was one, and I had to be the one to point it out, but it was for the grocery store chain H-E-B.
Yes, which they're awesome if you've ever been to an H-E-B. They're like Texas has them.
Yeah.
Like I've been to one in Waco, and like they got like bars and restaurants, and it's like, is this a grocery store or like a mall?
They must be doing pretty well for themselves if they can afford a Super Bowl commercial, but the guy in the commercial was Aaron Watson, who is a Texas country singer, songwriter, who's regularly through this area. It was actually
at the fairgrounds, wasn't he?
I brought him out on stage last year at Red Dirt Black Gold.
Ah, they're in Artesia.
He was our headliner last year for Red Dirt Black Gold. So
1 year ago in Artesia,
that's right.
A year later, he's in a HEB commercial.
It was connected
in the Super Bowl.
Connected tissue to the Super Bowl is what that was.
Man. Now I want to get me some of them chicken fingers from HEB.
I don't
That's
like
all
the
I
fact,
got from that story.
I don't like the fact that I said connected tissue, and that made me think of the Tubi Boy again.
Oh, the hat hit. Yeah.
With the hat, yuck.
Like now I want I want to try something.
Okay.
Because that hat, because those the commercial where the kid has the
flesh colored cowboy hat shaped head.
Cowboy hat shaped head.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to could he put like a 10-gallon hat? Could you fit it seamlessly over?
Now, I thought, wasn't that part of the commercial that when he got later in life, he was wearing a regular cowboy hat over it to cover up his shame?
No, that was the other kid.
Oh, okay.
Remember, see what? Because the whole point of the stupid commercial was that his time will come.
Right,
and
right.
so, at the time, all the kids were into Harry Potter and all that, but he was born into Westerns. And so the Westerns weren't popular. And then Westerns became popular, and all the Harry Potter kids were putting regular cowboy hats on top of their Harry Potter heads.
Right.
And he was like, it'll. But I want to know is, because that is disturbing. I feel like his head like that. Could he just put a regular cowboy hat and we wouldn't notice?
Well, because cowboy hats are so well tailored, you could find somebody who take the time.
That's what I'm saying. We could get a steamer and let's put some fabric on top of this, so you're not creeping out the neighbors with your weird shaped head.
So you're saying he can be saved, but only from certain angles. Because if you have an upshot on that kid, I'm sorry, it's still going to look creepy.
Yeah. Good thing they didn't raise a kid into war movies. Imagine one of those helmets for a shaped head.
Just got the Roman helmet. That would not be fun. No.
Well, and more even in this commercial, the more we need to. I don't want to talk about it. 'Cause we're going. And I'm like, this is going to take me into black holes.
Mike, you missed the whole point of the commercial. He doesn't have to wear a cowboy hat.
Yeah, but
you don't have to hide who you really are.
It's not that I want him to hide who he really is. I just don't want to see it. It's disturbing to have your head with that. It's like Chunk from the Goonies. He's a nice guy. I don't want to look at him.
Exactly.
He's got teeth in his forehead. I don't want to.
I was gonna say I thought you'd like that kind of stuff, and you like '80s movies.
It just looked horrifying. It's just the AI on it.
If I might,
yes,
sloth.
Yes,
sloth, not chunk.
Not chunk. Sorry,
Yeah.
Chunk was his friend.
Do the truffle shuffle. No, I was asked to do the truffle shuffle so much as a kid. I know who Chunk was.
But that's my point.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but all in all, it was some good ones, some real disturbing ads. But admittedly, those are the ones we're talking about today. So mission accomplished, I guess.
Well, yeah. I still need to pay. I did Pringles and Little Caesars collude? Because that's just too weird that both of them have flying hair in their commercial.
Mm-hmm.
If you all saw,
and both for food products where you don't really want hair.
Little Caesars, yeah, right, and not my food.
Yeah,
but Little Caesars, they had Eugene Levy as one of their spokespersons,
Mm-hmm.
and of course he's known for having them big bushy eyebrows, and them things took off and started flying around the rest of the commercial. Mm-hmm. And then, like a commercial break later, here comes Pringles with the flying Pringle mustaches all over the place.
Ron Swanson's mustache.
Yeah, I'm like, what's with all the flying hair?
It was pretty awesome to see Andy Reid's mustache just leave his face and fly away.
Yeah,
that was great.
Maybe someone had the same idea.
I'm thinking the same ad agency, and they pitched it to different companies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was Sam Elliott's mustache flying around? It
No.
should have been. That's a fine mustache.
Which was actually funny because Lebowski was on before we had the Super
I
Bowl
know.
on.
Well, I thought that was part of the thing when I first walked in. I was like, oh, and I was like, no, he's actually got Big Lebowski on instead of the Super Bowl pregame.
It's just how Thomas rolls.
But anyway, I need to study more commercials.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get a chance to see. The ones I saw were all right, but I didn't get to pay attention.
I got to see the Stitch one.
That was pretty funny.
When I walked in.
Oh, the one where I saw
wild-
part of that where for the movie, the Lilo and Stitch movie.
Yeah, where he's running
somehow
around like
he
a
gets
dog.
a hold on the golf cart on the NFL field and
a wild
crashes
Stitch
into
on the field, yeah.
I only caught like that in the background. I didn't see the whole premise
Now
behind that.
that felt like they took an old footage of a dog running around and on a field that they couldn't catch, and they just painted out the dog and replaced it with the CG.
And then when that
model
dog
of-
stole that golf cart, that was crazy. Super Bowl.
that's where it broke for me. It's like wait, what?
Actually, that footage is real, but it's not a dog. It was Andy Reid 3 years ago. I'm just kidding. He's gazelle-like for a man that size.
surprisingly limber, surprisingly mobile.
On that note, I should get the hour started. Our guest patiently waiting through all that nonsense. So we're going to... It pays the bills. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. Of course, we'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a few minutes. Shortly thereafter, we're going to be joined in studio by Maureen McGinn talking about, of course, this month being the month of February, Black History Month. And this Saturday at the Roswell Public Library, they're going to have their Blackdom's Legacy Day event. And from 1 to 4, and of course, the public is invited and encouraged to come out and learn a little history, learn a little Blackdom, and you know, I got some stuff I want to talk about. We'll get into the interview because otherwise I'll start talking now and we'll never get into the interview. That's what I do. So we'll stop so I can put a pause.
He's
in the
right,
action.
you know.
Yeah, I will just go. I'm like those little the 70s and 80s. You pull that cord, I'll just keep going till the cord runs out. So you just go. So anyway, it is 8:15. Let's get you up to date on the weather. It's going to be a little roller coastery this week. Like 50s today, 70s tomorrow, then down in the mid 60s, and down in the 50s, and back up to 70 again. So all that's happening by Friday. So here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Cloudy and cool today. We have a little cold front dropping through the area, maybe a little bit of drizzle, and our afternoon high stays in the mid-50s. For the overnight hours, we'll stay cloudy, upper 30s to mid-40s on the low, and then we're back to sunny and warmer weather on Tuesday with high pressure moving in. We're back up to about 70, low 60s, and sunny on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, you know what? I didn't refresh my weather. I am a bad host. There it goes. Now it's fresh. Currently 37 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 65%. Winds currently out of the southeast at 6 miles per hour. Looking at cloudy skies today, mid-50s. 56 are expected high. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, so it will be a little breezy too. Not bad, but just enough to be annoying. Cloudy tonight, but gradually becoming partly cloudy with an overnight low of 39 degrees. So it's going to be warm. We're pushing 40 for an overnight low. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, warming back up to 70, mostly sunny and 70, but breezy for the afternoon. Northwest winds 5 to 10 early, but shifting to the southwest, picking up 15 to 20 for tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night, we're looking at partly cloudy skies and an overnight low of 38, south winds 10 to 15. Wednesday, mostly sunny, back into the mid-60s, 64 officially, northwest winds at around 15 miles per hour. They're saying there's a slight chance of sprinkles Wednesday night, so look for those. Bring out your cupcakes and catch some sprinkles. And Thursday, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, 56 for a high. And then Friday, we're back up to 70 under mostly cloudy skies. So like I was saying, it's going to be a little, cold one day, hot the next. And then for the weekend, sunny and 65 for Saturday, sunny and 61 on Sunday. So kind of levels out a little bit for the weekend. All right, it is 8:17. We're going to take a 3.5-minute break. And then Maureen will join us here on the other side talking about Blackdom's Legacy Day this Saturday at the Roswell Public Library. Don't go away.
Attention Roswell, the all-new Roswell Ford is back and open for business for service, parts, and sales at our dealership at 821 North Main Street. Our goal for 2025 is to make buying a new Ford and quality pre-owned vehicle super fun, super fast, and super easy. In fact, we'll give you the price we give to a friend or family member right up front. Bring us any trade in any condition. Don't even wash it. At Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? We can help. We'll take your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with even more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, and even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Huge savings, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance, plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
There are 3 key phrases that need to be spoken on a regular basis in a healthy marriage. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
For over 20 years, Julie and I have been sharing these 3 key phrases, and here they are. I love you, I'm sorry, and I forgive you.
Ephesians 4:32 says, be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ, God forgave you.
It's so easy to expect others to love us, to say I'm sorry, and to forgive us. But it's really a gift that we give each other. The Bible teaches us we sow and we reap. Sow into your spouse, I love you, I forgive you, I'm sorry. And then you'll reap a harvest in return. Someone has to start the process. Let that be you today so you can really enjoy your marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Injury, surgery, or illness can set you back, but you don't have to recover alone. At Artesia General Hospital, our rehabilitation services team provides physical, occupational, and speech therapy to help you regain strength, mobility, and confidence. Take the next step toward recovery. Call 575-736-8174 today to schedule an appointment and get back to living life to the fullest.
When you stick with Block, everyone's a winner. Weekly prizes and giveaways like a Samsung 65-inch 4K Smart TV to be giving away on February 21st. Your Roswell, New Mexico H&R Block wants to help those affected by the recent flooding that affected our beautiful city. We are offering a discount to any tax filers claiming a casualty loss deduction this season. Please give us a call at 575-622-5455 or stop by our new location at 701 South Main. H&R Block has got you covered.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us back in studio, been a minute, but we have joining us Maureen McGinn here to talk about the big event happening this Saturday at the Roswell
Good
Public
morning,
Library.
Mike. Yeah.
Good morning. How are you today?
Just great. I'm freezing on the edges, but it's great.
Well, we got the window closed. Hopefully that'll it gets a little stuffy in this office without that. But of course, for folks that aren't aware, or I think everybody should be aware, but the month of February is Black History Month. And,
sure enough.
And you know, this is a month that we use to celebrate Black history, but also to learn it, to educate all people on, you know, the history and where if you always want to see how things work in today's world, you want to know why it got there, look at your history. There's a reason
That's
why
right.
things are done.
And we have so much Black history here that a lot of people don't even really know about.
And that's what I think, because to be honest, when I think of Black history and slaves and a lot of the stuff we talk about, we think of back east. You know, your South Carolinas, North Carolinas, Georgia, you know, Alabama, maybe into Texas a little bit. We don't think of New Mexico. We don't think of out west here. We think this was mostly still, you know, Native Americans running wild and not a lot of what was going on back east going on here, you know, but it was, and there was a lot of that stuff.
Well, so kind of how Blackdom for me got started was I was doing research on a black cowboy that was really well liked by a lot of ranchers. I found out he got married.
Okay.
And I was trying to find out how did that woman show up here. Then somebody mentioned Blackdom.
Okay.
Probably she came from, I said, Blackdom, what is that? And nobody knew where it was. And it took me probably 4 or 5 years to finally locate it. It's 18 miles south of town.
Okay.
And there's probably, I don't know, 15,000 acres or so that was homesteaded by people. And the originator, he came out of Georgia.
Okay.
He was a professor there at a black college and was trying to get away from the Klan stuff.
Gotcha.
And Jim Crow laws.
So it's kind of like, think of it like the Pilgrims coming to Mayflower or, you know, Plymouth Rock, and, you know, they're coming for religious freedoms.
Exactly.
Blackdom was kind of coming for personal life freedoms. So
well, his daddy was in the Mexican-American War, was a wagoneer.
Gotcha.
He saw the Llano Estacado, the plains up here, and thought, look at all that land. And when they were doing the Homestead Act, that was free land for them to come and have a community of their own and regulate their own.
When you say the Wild West, we tamed it, but that was it. We were exploring, mankind was coming in droves and looking for opportunity out west. And some were looking for gold and things. Others were looking for just a new way of life. And like you said, for some that were oppressed and things back east, they're looking for a new start out west.
That's
looking to start their own family. They're 10 acres of land and their horse and mule, and they're looking for their staking world. That's,
you bet.
That's what they're looking for.
You bet. So what was neat about all this is I started to do research on Blackdom, and so for 25 years, I went out and looked around and walked around all the grounds and the different foundations that I found out there and found some artifacts, and I thought, wow. And so I just started marking them and what they were. And after 25 years, you get a lot of stuff, and I thought, I think it would be neat to share this with people.
Now you got enough to say, maybe I could, start... instead of them coming to my house, maybe we can bring it to the people here.
Well, and it's funny, some of the family descendants from California were out trying to find Blackdom. And they called one of their cousins that I had been in contact with in Colorado.
Okay.
And said, where is it? We've been here 10 days, we can't find it. And he said, call Maureen. She knows right where it's at. I've told her. So they called me. I took them out there.
And there's a marker and everything.
There is a marker.
I mean, it's not a whole lot of, bells and whistles saying, here it is right here, but there is like your New Mexico historical markers that you see all over the state. There's one when they're marking it, but those are easy to miss if you're not paying attention.
Yep, it's right on the highway going from Roswell to Artesia. So anyway, so we took them down there, and they just kind of we drove on the farm, and they just wept when they got to their grandfather's homestead.
So they had family there. And they found, I guess, the spot?
There's ruins there, but
That is so...
as they looked around, they found a World War I button. They go, "Oh, my grandfather was in that," and they found a button on the.
Oh.
They were finding stuff.
What are the odds?
Yeah. Old Model 8 car broken
down. Sure, your eyes
stuff.
are getting a little sweaty seeing these things.
I know. It did. It touched me a lot.
Sweaty out here.
So when I ended up finding photographs, and there's a lot of descendants that stayed in Roswell. When it dried up out there because of no water, I think the last descendants, the ancestors that left were in 1940.
Okay.
And then a bunch of the original families moved, still had the dream. They still, even though they didn't have water there and stuff was drying up and they were not going to be able to make it, they moved to Vado, which is south by Cruces.
Okay.
On the Rio Grande. This time they were right where the water was. And to this day, they have...
they still have their...
They do reunions.
Descendants and family that come down to there?
They do Blackton reunions there. It got 400 and something people that still go. That
great.
live there.
I love that.
So that's pretty cool.
That is cool. Well, maybe they'll make a venture out back our way, and maybe they got some roots that can bring those generations that said, we do have a few generations that spent time down on the more eastern part of the state during that time.
Yeah. What's neat is PBS came and did a documentary with the grandson of the founder of all this down there.
Oh, wow.
And so what we've got on as far as artifacts are concerned, there's court records. We have written interviews of people that we've talked to that either were born there
or descended
from their close. Yep. We have 100-year-old advertisements for people to look at. We have copies of the pioneers' property deeds.
Oh, wow.
We've got old newspaper articles.
That's
books.
funny. Regardless of your knowledge or that of the Blackton thing, I'm just a fan of looking through old documents and things. Regardless of what it's about, just to seeing how the sausage was made 100 years ago is kind of nice for me.
I know, me too.
I kind of like that. So.
If you like history, you're really going to enjoy the presentation. At 1:30, we're doing the PBS presentation.
The documentary.
It goes about 40 minutes.
Okay.
And then in between that and 3:30, we're going to show it again at 3:30. But at 2:30, Helen Wakefield is the president of the Blackton Collaboration for the memorial they're building here in town.
Yes. Okay. Good.
And so she's going to give us an update at 2:30 on how that's going.
Good. Well, hopefully we do all the bells and whistles and bring out all the red coats and the red tape and the mayors and the keys to the city and all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
When that dedication happens.
And the city has been super behind it.
Good.
That's what's a neat deal too.
I love the history. And I don't have any time. And this is the thing that people don't get about Roswell. And I'm not native. I've been here for 25 years since 2000 now, so I've been here a piece, but I'm not native to here. But the one thing you don't realize how vast this history is here. Like you said, the Blackton stuff here, but even the World War II with the POW stuff.
I know it.
It is. Yeah, you don't realize how unique that kind of stuff is. And I grew up in the D.C. area. I grew up in where you can throw a rock and hit something historical. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so when I came out here, I'm like, shoot, you can go an hour this way and get all the Lincoln County War and Billy the Kid history and all of that stuff that you see in the Western movies. Then you go an hour in this direction and you're getting, the earliest forms of man ever recorded here with some of our natives hunting grounds and buffalo and some of that stuff. And of course you go out like to Bitter Lake and see some of those buffalo hunting stuff. And then you go and say, oh, by the way, that's all New Deal stuff from the Depression era. That's history right there, And then you get to the Blackton camps and things. most people, all we know about is something allegedly crashed out in the desert about 30 miles, 50 miles, where it was up north of here. And we all come and do a thing, which is cool, awesome, come for that. But then you come here and you realize, look, no, we got world. You do realize if you were on a B-17 crew during World War II, you probably spent time sitting in Roswell, New Mexico, learning how to do your job.
There you go. Yeah.
And this is the kind of history you have. And Blackdom's just another layer of that rich history that's part of Roswell, New Mexico, and is part of the world.
And the Roswell Public Library, where they're going to host it for us in the Bondurant room, but they have been super supportive. I mean, in every way. And so it gave us the whole room to set up all this. There's so many things to look at when you come for this. I think it's going to be super enjoyable. But every peoples have history. Whether you're the Bosque Redondo Apaches, whether you're black or you're white or you're Irish, you've got history because it's a people group and they stuck together, tried to for camaraderie and for encouragement. There's history with them.
Well, and I would say just because we create such unique history just because of the world we live in. And New Mexico, let's face it, for the settlers, for the people that built this country, New Mexico is not the most forgiving climate in the world. This is not climate built for people, you had to come, with sharp teeth to make it in New Mexico. With our extreme, you can go an hour one direction and you're a foot of snow, and then you go an hour in another direction, it's 100, 103 out.
See, now that's an excellent point because this people started this with no water.
Yeah. And that's just another thing,
so
too.
they had to haul water.
I'm going to take a stab in. They were able to get this land because it probably was deemed not useful to many other people. And so, you know what I mean? It was, I'm going to take a stab that, it's kind of like with the natives and how you put them on the various, it was put in like generally land.
Think about this. They lasted 40 years with that very thought.
Exactly.
How do you do that?
Exactly. Like I'm saying, they weren't given it's kind of like if you look at the culinary culture for soul food and things like that, a lot of that's coming from slaves, and that's why pigs feed, and because if you look at the history, these were the cuts of meat that were coming to their families, and they were turning it into, they were basically making lemonade out of this stuff.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
So it's a sense memory, isn't it? And so that's why soul food, I'm a big fan of it, but that's why you think it's the intestines and it's the lesser cuts of your pigs and your beef because that's what got to them. And so, and that's what and it's no different with other history when you look at, everything you do and see today and everything and how you wear your clothes and how you sit a certain way and the things you put in your body and all that, it's all from some kind of your culture.
You bet. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I love about this. And I think that's why if you come out on Saturday to the library here and check this out, you're going to
1 to 4.
Yeah, 1 to 4 p.m. Again, it's at the Bondurant room. Yeah. I'm going to take a stab. Usually when there's events like this, usually the Friends of the Library puts out a little spread of coffee and cookies and things like that for stuff like that. So, but usually there's some things to nosh on. But I'm telling you,
we're having. Oh, excuse me, Mike. We're having a children's interactive corner this year.
Okay.
Last year was our first year to do this. This is the second year because we have, children need to understand this history here.
This is, to be honest, and this is where kind of I was talking with you a little bit about my own personal, like when I think of Black History Month and things, I remember when I was in elementary school and we got to go on a field trip, and it's still, and I'm going to say this was third grade, second grade. I'm going to know it's at least third grade I'm going to say third grade. And it still impacts me to this day. As I got a chance to go, we went out to a plantation that was, during the 1800s. This was a working plantation in southern Maryland, and now it's an educational thing. But I got to see really what like you saw where the slaves, quote unquote, their living quarters were, their lifestyle. You see the tools they used. You see the equipment, the shackles, the things that were used to keep them, restrained, things like that.
Shame on us.
It is, and to see this stuff and now I've seen it from my third grade brain and seeing some of the balls and chains for punishments and things like that. It was an eye-opening experience, and it's But I also learned too that, because history is everything, and each plantation was different based on the people that ran it.
That's right. Yeah.
When you have quote unquote good people, they probably treated it more like where there was almost an indentured servitude, where some of the slaves may actually have a stake in the work and things, and so that worked. But a lot of times you had your, this is strictly property, and it was chattel, and they go to the slave auctions, and they're soaping them up and making them look as presentable as possible for auction, and they literally treated them like cattle or pigs or any other livestock.
So what we're celebrating, though, now is the other side of that.
Right,
these people,
and I don't get down a rabbit hole, but that was what opened my eyes.
Coming, yeah.
And so you're seeing the result of that.
Yes.
You're seeing the years of, emancipation,
yes.
The 13th Amendment. Just because there's a piece of paper saying they're free doesn't mean people are willing to give them that opportunity. And that's where, and this is where the part of history where you're getting to study here is okay, now that we freed the slaves, what happens next?
So Boyer, who was the founder, couldn't get a train ticket. So he walked 1,000 miles out here with his brother-in-law, and they got a place in Dexter and homesteaded that. They had 160 acres, and they started sending out newspaper articles to invite people from Mississippi, from Georgia, from Alabama. If you're tired of Jim Crow, come out here and start a new life.
Yeah.
And that's how they ended up with, the writings are that they ended up with about 25 families. So there was a total of about 300 and something people that homesteaded out there. And to get water, Diamond A Ranch, who bordered them, allowed them to go ahead and in their windmill, go ahead and bring their wagons with barrels. And one guy would just do that all day long.
Wow.
Just fill up those barrels, haul it back to people, and for water, for crop, whatever they were raising.
You know how hard that
livestock.
is? That's a hard life.
Whew. I mean, resiliency is something else. As it brings on a whole new definition to all that.
But it's kind of neat to see that there was still that neighborly mindset despite the world we lived in. And let's face it, the politics of the world at that time, it was, black and white. It was not, people didn't get along and people didn't.
Except that, and that's what started me on this whole venture in the first place, was finding that.
So you knew people.
Black cowboy, his name was Addison Jones, and he had, this is kind of it's off a little bit, but it's such a good rapport with ranchers, helping them with cattle drives. He was such a good cowboy. 19 ranches sent him a wedding gift to the depot, and it was wood cook stoves. 19 for him and his wife.
So he'd have he had plenty of place to cook after all that. But that kind of also, but that's the West way, or that's kind of that hard work. It's like, okay, they're going to look at you different, but when you prove that you're, worth your salt, then they don't care. You know what I mean? You're contributing, and that's where I think is what happens is and you get out here, and of course the outside looking in, everybody's different. Stay away from me because you look different. You don't talk like I do. You don't look like I do. And then at the end of the day, you realize you're similar and everything. And that's kind of what happens is you find out there's more in common because guess what? That person wants the same as you do. They want a happy life. They want a great opportunity for themselves and their family, just like you do. And once you read that.
I brought a picture for you, too, to look at. There's a book by the Dexter Old Timers called As We Remembered It.
Okay.
And that is actual pictures of a home in Blackdom.
Okay. And this was what time? This is 1917 time, so right around
the early 1900s. Their plat map, they had a town. It's all recorded down here at the courthouse. It is awesome. And then outside of the town square, they have all the, the homesteads going on. So this stuff is.
I love that. Do they do? Is there people that do digs and stuff out there on a regular basis, or just folks that come out there?
It's
pretty protected.
It's now subdivided quite a bit.
Okay, I didn't know if there was like a National Geographic or some kind of entity like that gets turned loose.
PBS documentary is as close as we're going to get, and there still are people who are descendants here who own property around out there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So like a section of land they'll own still. But that kind of thing is, it's just neat to try to get talking with them and see what they're going to do with it or what are their plans. A lot of them don't know and they're just hanging on to it because it's their heritage.
Sure.
So.
But I'm just curious with your own collection and things and stuff. Are you getting to a point where maybe, like you said, we're at a point where we can do a presentation at the library here.
Come and look.
And come see it this Saturday here. But, I mean, is it growing to a point where maybe we need to start a thing at the museum or something where there's
eventually, you bet.
A Blackdom
That's a good point.
Wing or
we should, because that kind of stuff is lost if it's not shared.
Absolutely. It's got to be preserved. Maybe, talk with our historical society. If you talk with Amy, she'll be a next hour, but that might be an avenue too to talk a little bit about it.
That'd be awesome.
But
we're having a question and answer time. Anybody who has anything about Blackdom that they know, I wish they would come and tell me, because
I would love if there is someone listening that is a descendant or a family member or has some. Please come out to the library on Saturday. We would love to hear your story or hear your experiences. I'm sure Maureen would definitely love to pick your brain for a little bit here.
Yes, I would.
But yeah, we would love, because I got to imagine there is someone listening, something in the area that they're attached to. Their family was part of this. That great grandma or grandpa or somebody was associated with this, or they've got maybe photos or their own relics from that time, family heirlooms and things from that area that we don't want them, but we'd love to see them and maybe get to learn a little history.
Learn some more history. You bet. That'd be awesome.
And to be honest, especially when you get into the study of really people and personal. Like we know dates and events and who, but we really the inner goings on and the rise and fall of it, at the high water mark.
So let me tell you one really neat story, just exactly what you're saying. I'm glad you brought that up, Mike. I built a chuck wagon.
Okay.
So I'd always go to anybody who had a wagon in their yard, no matter how old, I'd go and take pictures to make sure I was staying authentic.
Sure, keeping it right the way, yeah.
And I went to this one place and found a wagon, and I went to the door, and this old guy was in there. He was on oxygen. He was watching the Westerns, And so I was asking him if I could get a picture of that wagon. He said, well, sure, come on in, sit down for a minute. And so and we got to visiting, and he said, we ranched right here south of town. My brother and I used to come across a place called Blackdom.
Okay.
And I said, Blackdom? You know about Blackdom? He goes, we used to ride our horses to Roswell and cross the land. And always Uncle Rags and Aunt Molly, she'd call us in for pie and coffee. And we were just little 10-year-old kids, But we'd stop. And she made the best pie. And I said, it's a family. It's the family that I was connected to in Colorado.
You don't realize
California.
how it's all small world and close, and everything is connected. It seems like in some weird way, shape, or form.
So when I went out there, the two things in one of my days of looking around, two things that I found on the Ragsdale property was the coffee pot and the pie pan.
That's a bit poetic. I don't know. I feel like there's some divine intervention there. I feel like the Lord sent a little message or saying, I feel like that, or God's just kind of confirming your path.
Absolutely.
I believe truly those are those.
And you know what? The school and the church that they had built down there, of course, it was a combination deal, and they had a post office and a general store, which some of the building came up to Roswell and was over here on Montana.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they turned it into a home.
That's
crazy. It's there's just a lot of stuff that's just pretty neat.
Yeah. This is where I want to say, folks, if you've got time this Saturday, make time to come on down to the Roswell Public Library. It's a free event. Doesn't cost you anything. It's from 1 to 4 at the library. It's in the Bondurant room.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Blackdom's Legacy Day. And like you said, during it kind of is come and go, but like if you want to see the PBS documentary, there's going to be 2 airings right there.
1:30 and 3:30.
Yeah, so one kind of at the beginning and one towards the end of the event. And of course, if you want to catch some of the different, the relics and artifacts and talking
You
with
get
Maureen.
to see those.
That you can kind of do anytime
Get
here.
to
but
hear
if
about the memorial update and stuff. So, yeah.
But I think you definitely, I would try to get there at least for it definitely so you could, especially if you don't know the real history of the Blackdom, I highly recommend you check out the PBS special, or I'm sure if you want, I'm sure you can probably find it online somewhere and watch it before then. And then if come on out and you want to talk to Maureen and talk a little bit more about it, if you want to,
and if
watch
you
it
have
on your own.
kids, bring them, because this is a great eye candy for them to understand some of this stuff.
And I'm telling you right now, to get these kinds of things to see the younger, like that's what I was kind of getting back to because I saw what I saw when I saw it, it had much bigger impact for me. Now, granted, I was blessed because I lived in the place where it happened, and people that live where the history happens take it for granted, and I didn't realize that until I left it. You growing up in D.C. and growing up in that area, there's so much history and so much, and you do get a little nose blind to it as you live there. But I'm like, by the way, this historical event took place 5 miles up here. And this is where I was telling you a little bit about Dr. Mudd and where I grew up there. When I was like 16, 17, 18, I worked in this meat room and warehouse place. It was right across the house from the Mary Surratt house. Now, if you know who Mary Surratt is, Mary Surratt was one of the Lincoln conspirators. Like when they hung, have you ever seen when they hung the Lincoln conspirators there in D.C.? One of them was a female, Mary Surratt. She was, and to be honest, most think that she was not involved. Her son, John Surratt, was. They just happened to meet at her home in Clinton, Maryland there, Surrattsville at the time. Now called Clinton, but anyway, that's the kind of history and I worked right across the street from
and
that.
you remember all that from a kid?
Well, because I'm just a history buff, and that's fine. Literally, when I was in Boy Scouts, we'd go and whitewash the Dr. Mudd house fence during the summer, and it was whitewash. It ain't white paint. It was the old school whitewash, the techniques, and that's how I learned how to whitewash in Boy Scouts and stuff. But that was the history, and so I grew up, and so that's why I think Saturday's so cool is get your chance, and like you said, young ones, give them a chance to see what life was like in their own backyard growing up here, and see how people that came before them, how they navigated life here in our area, and think, this isn't much about Black history, but it's also as much about human
resilience,
life, and the harshities of the West, and people trying to make their way in that stuff. And that's what and it makes you think so much about the mindset of the folks that were involved because of what they're coming from and dealing with, the bigotry and the, slave and that's just it is, there wasn't this like slavery ended and everyone said, oh, great, kumbaya for everybody. No, most people weren't willing to give Black people a chance and get jobs, and they're going to work for less, and they're going to take our jobs. There was all that vitriol still going on in the world, and to this day in some points. But that's. And so that's what you're saying. It's like they were willing to go from what was the comforts of the East because they're so sick of that, and they're really to live in the harsh conditions of Southeast New Mexico to make their way in life, and they did it. They did it for a long time, and so this is why we celebrate that. And so come out Saturday from 1 to 4. Come learn the history. Come, you never know, you might open it. And I'm hoping what happens is you probably get like with Maureen. You get a bug bit a little bit, like you kind of see something, and then you go down the rabbit hole looking for more. Next thing you know, you're giving lectures at the library on a Saturday. Am I right?
Oh, man.
That's what I'm hoping happens, is we get some of that too. So, but Maureen, is there anything we wanted to cover that we just got sidebarred on, or do we get it all?
No, just that we have a special book for the children. It's a coloring book of the historical stuff they did.
Okay.
So they can go and color. They can come and color while kind of the adult stuff is doing.
Sure.
They can
learn
do
at
that,
their own level.
and they can learn at their own level and take it home with them.
And you don't realize that the sense memories are great. Like that whole story I said, and they're going to be kids. They're going to be coloring here, and it's going to trigger, and they're going to see something down the road on Blackdom, and like, oh, I remember, and then it,
yeah, exactly.
Thing goes.
If you look on Google Earth, you can see the original buggy tracks still that go diagonally across the countryside, and Uncle Rags and Aunt Molly, same couple. She worked for a doctor in Dexter, and he'd take her in, and he'd do odd jobs there while she was working, and they would come back.
Come down that same trail.
And, and I found that out. Everybody has a little piece of information, and when you go and check it out and look and get that kind of verification, it's like, wow, you know, it's pretty neat. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I've told this story before. I'll tell it real quick. We got to go. But one of those moments for me like that was, again, being grown up where I went and got a chance to visit in the battlefield for Antietam, Civil War, the bloodiest single day of the Civil War. That's in Maryland. So I got to go to that battle site and tour it. Well, that battle, the way it went down in like 3 phases. There was a morning phase in the cornfield, but by the end of the day, the third phase of the battle shifted down to this stone bridge, which is now later today called Burnside Bridge because it's named after the general that defended it, General Burnside, and everything else. But anyway, that was the kind of the climax, the end of the battle was there at this bridge. Well, I was there at that bridge, there and seeing it, and there at the battlefield. And right there by the bridge, there's a placard, talking about what took place there. And then there's a picture that was taken like a day after the battle right there of the same bridge and all that. So I'm sitting there looking at this picture and looking at, the same modern version of it. And I'm looking at the picture, and here's the bridge. And then right by the bridge, there's this picture of this sapling tree that's all kind of bent over. It just cannonballs, bullets whizzing, and everything else. And there was this one tree just kind of sapling. So I look up, and there's this huge oak right where this tree is
my God.
Sitting. And I'm like, that's that tree, the bridge. And I'm like, it was this. And it was one of those moments like, this tree was here the day after the battle looking sad. And now here we are, this years later, and here's this tree. It was just one of those life moments for me. It's like, wow, this
that
tree.
is neat. Yeah.
It was kind of
talk about resilience.
Yeah, and so that's what I think this Blackdom is going to evoke a lot of that and seeing that kind of stuff. So come out again this Saturday, February 15th, at the Roswell Public Library in the Bondurant Room from 1 to 4 p.m.
Any questions? Call 575-420-7554.
Very good, and please, and of course, reach out to the library, and they'll be happy to give you information as well too.
Okay.
But please make a point. If you can't make the whole time, maybe try to come out for an hour or so at least. But you're more than welcome to come from 1 to 4. But it is kind of a come and go.
It is.
If you want to see the documentaries, you need to be there 1:30 or 3:30.
And 2:30 for the presentation. Update on the memorial.
Yeah, which I'm curious to see. I hope we throw out all the bells and whistles and all the good stuff. I hope we roll out the red carpet for that.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you, Maureen, as always. And we can, as we get updates and stuff, I'd love to see, if we get maybe, or maybe one day we kind of, hey, here's some of the stuff you got out there, whatever. But I'd love to see that.
Okay.
But thank you, Maureen.
You bet.
All right, it is 8:54. Let's pause for a quick commercial break. Actually, first, let's do your Red Apple Market Up report. And then we'll do a quick break before news here. Don't go away.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
I'm James Flippin. U.S. stocks finished lower on Friday as Wall Street watchers say concerns tied to inflation and tariffs put a damper on sentiment as President Trump says he's planning reciprocal tariffs on trading partners to be announced this week. He made that announcement while visiting with Japan's Prime Minister on Friday. The concept of a protracted trade war has made investors skittish, and the market was already on edge after the January jobs report was published, as well as some data concerning inflation. At one point Friday, the 10-year Treasury's yield spiked above 5%. Consumer sentiment fell in February and came in below economists' expectations. Respondents anticipate the annual inflation rate to hit 4.3%, marking a rise of 1 percentage point from the previous month. And the January jobs report points to lower average annual earnings. The unemployment rate fell to 4% from 4.1%. E-commerce giant Amazon sold off after issuing disappointing guidance. That overshadowed a top and bottoms line earnings beat for Amazon. Google parent Alphabet continued to decline following disappointing results earlier in the week. With business, I'm James Flippin.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
With business, I'm James Flippin. This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report. With business, I'm James Flippin. This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report. With business, I'm James Flippin. This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report. With business, I'm James Flippin. This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
I love My Patriot Cigar Company. Premium hand-rolled cigars blended by some of the best master blenders in the industry, using the finest aged tobacco from Nicaragua. 4 different blends and complexities to satisfy any palate. Get the Patriot Cigar 5-cigar sampler pack free when you spend $100 or more using promo code STONE. 5 free cigars on orders over $100 with free shipping. MyPatriotCigars.com, promo code STONE. MyPatriotCigars.com, a premium smoke for freedom-loving patriots.
Have you spent a lot of time trying to whiten your teeth with no real success? Here at Carabelli Dental, we have a solution. Get that perfect smile you've always wanted with veneers. Veneer treatment is quick and minimally invasive and will provide you with a confident smile in just a couple easy steps. You deserve to love your smile, so don't let another day pass you by without calling us to start the smile design process.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell, or call 575-622-4455.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Central Valley Electric is continually learning and advancing technology that improves electric service, reliability, and safety, and in turn enhancing the quality of life for members that we serve in our local communities. CVE offers an account management program called Smart Hub that allows members to track their usage, set up convenient pay methods, and the ability to manage their energy use with smart technologies. A secure system such as Smart Hub is an easy tool to use. To sign up, visit cvecoop.org and click Smart Hub to get started.
Time to move into a new year at the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop in Roswell. Valentine's fabrics are here and spring fabrics are arriving daily with a great selection of quilts, Valentine shirts, and rope bowls made right here at the Calico Cow. And Brothers sewing machines are on sale now. Plus, the Calico Cow can fix and perform maintenance on all brands. Out of town? Log on to RoswellQuilting.com to order. We ship direct. The Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop, 200 East College in Roswell. Want to know how? Come see the cow.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 1 in 3 snake bite victims is drunk. 1 in 5 is tattooed. Hold my beer and check this out. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 9 o'clock. Stay tuned. Next hour after, we'll have news and all that coming up here in just a minute. And then I know Carrie Moore's here from the Health Council. We'll also have Amy McVeigh-Tejas with the Historical Society join us as well. All of that next hour. And then, of course, don't forget, if you missed just our interview here just a minute ago, the event is happening at the library this Saturday from 1 to 5 p.m. for Blackdome's Legacy Day. I love this kind of history, learning about, just the study people and stuff. So I think folks are going to really get a kick out of it this Saturday. Come check it out. Learn a little history about what's happening in your own backyard. All right, you're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. A federal judge in New Hampshire has blocked President Trump's executive order ending birthright citizenship for the children of illegal immigrants. Today's ruling comes after 2 similar rulings by judges in Seattle and Maryland last week. Christian relief groups feeling the pain of the president's dismantling of the U.S. Agency for International Development.
The Trump administration's gutting of USAID is directly affecting the work and ministry of many faith-based organizations, including Samaritan's Purse, World Vision, World Relief, and Catholic Relief Services. As Christianity Today reports, most of USAID's budget goes to grants for projects, including local Christian health clinics and orphan care. On its website, World Relief says the federal funding cuts are putting its refugee outreach and life-saving programs at risk. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Before last night's Super Bowl, which he did attend, the president applauded the work of DOGE, his Department of Government Efficiency. It's headed by Elon Musk. The president says DOGE will now be turning its focus on the Departments of Education and Defense. Flying under the radar, efforts aimed at ending the war in Ukraine. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz says President Trump is actively considering various strategies for finally winding down the conflict.
Russia's economy is not doing well. He is prepared to tax, to tariff, to sanction. We need to get all sides of the table and end this war, and it has come up in conversations with President Xi, with Prime Minister Modi, with leaders across the Middle East. Everybody is ready to help President Trump end this war.
Waltz speaking on NBC's Meet the Press. On Wall Street this hour, stocks trading in positive territory. The Dow is up about 123 points. The Nasdaq better by 235 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals, too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
An international AI summit is underway this week in Paris.
Tuesday will see world leaders, including US Vice President J.D. Vance and India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, hold talks within the walls of the ornate Grand Palais. Elon Musk is not on the guest list, but that doesn't mean he won't decide to come. DeepSeek founder Liang Wenfeng is also unconfirmed. At preview events held on Sunday, it was clear there was tension between countries vying for pole position in the AI race, as much as they're trying to collaborate over its regulation. China's former foreign minister clashed with Canada's AI godfather, Professor Yoshua Bengio, and India's former IT minister accused Europe of thinking innovation, trust and safety could not coexist.
And that's BBC's Zoe Kleinman. Britain's government touting its success in raiding businesses that employ illegal aliens and deporting thousands of migrants who have no right to stay in the UK. News and analysis, townhall.com. The remains of all 10 people killed in last week's Alaska plane crash have been recovered.
The bodies of the 9 passengers and 1 pilot who were on board a Bering Air flight that crashed in Nome, Alaska Thursday have been recovered, according to state troopers. They range in age from 30 to 58. NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy says they're investigating the cause of the crash, but the single-engine turboprop plane is on an ice floe, which makes it tricky.
We do have a short window where we have weather, bad weather coming in, some snow, and please understand that some difficult conditions because this is on an ice floe, which is moving about 5 miles a day.
Audio courtesy Alaska News Source. I'm Julie Walker.
Mayhem engulfed Philadelphia following the Eagles' Super Bowl win, with rioters taking to the streets. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travelation, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to our, number 3?
Trace Inviernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy Monday.
Aye.
Post Super Bowl Monday.
Welcome to it. Willkommen.
Yes. Hopefully sad for some, happy for others. Most just tired and called in sick.
An estimated 22.5 million people will call in sick or late to work today, according to statistics.
Can I go home early?
No. I mean, yeah, go for it.
Statistic?
I'm going to call it, yeah. National Go Home Early Day.
I had to be here on time, but I don't want to be here all day.
Yeah.
Go home. But happy post Monday.
That's what stinks about the morning radio thing is we're here to inform the people, so it's like postmasters come rain or sleet or storm of night.
That's right.
Stay these couriers from their appointed rounds.
That's right. Something like that. We do have a full hour for you,
yes.
So I want to get the hour.
Well, also happy Gulf of America Day yesterday.
Is it Gulf of America?
Yeah, he officially signed the executive signed the executive order. I think Google Maps changed their designation to Gulf of America.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
My Ram McNally map still says Gulf of
I
Mexico.
I know.
I just thought that was funny. Like, it's Super Bowl Sunday is now Gulf of America Day.
Of course, mine still has designations for the USSR, so maybe I should update my Rand McNally map.
Pretty sure mine still has Yugoslavia on it, so I need to update that. But, those globes.
Indeed.
Are those still a thing? Like
globes?
Can you see a globe in a classroom? Or are they just like everything's so digital and
there are globes still, but names are changing so fast that it's hard to keep up with. And half the time, the globes that you see are like way historically inaccurate. Or
it's sitting up in the corner of the classroom with 8 pounds of dust on it in the corner above the lockers. I think it's got some kid's coat from like 1972 sitting on top of it. Yeah.
There was a song from the show Animaniacs from when I was a kid or an adolescent that has all of the nations of the world: United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama. I'm not going to go through the whole thing.
Thank you.
But it's got lots of names that have been changed. And the guy who sang the song recently redid the song with new names that he found a new rhyme scheme or whatever. And then the names have changed since he did the redo. So it's next to impossible to keep up with. People are changing borders every other day.
Like our iPhones.
Every
week's a new one.
Canada might be a 51st state.
Speaking of Canada.
Greenland, all of them.
Speaking of Canada, tomorrow for our Canadian listeners, it's remember...
all none of you.
Happy Remembrance Day. Which is
we're sorry about all the trouble you've been getting into.
Which is just... It's just Veterans Day for Canada.
Oh, cool.
We remember.
I will have a puffers in celebration.
Puppers.
Some sushis and sashimis.
Sushis and sashimis.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have a hot tub party.
Ooh. There you go.
I'm throwing out all these letter K's.
Get some Tim Hortons.
Yeah. Well, it's this. If you would have hit me, say 15 years ago, all my Canadian references would have been Strange Brew. Now I go more letter K.
I tend to go somewhere in the creamy middle with Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
Just go hit up King of Don Air.
Or, but y'all ain't lived to y'all need to be hockey fans. If you want to get the true Canadian gibberish, you got to watch hockey. That's the ultimate in Canadian gibberish.
That's where they're all over the place.
Hockey players. They speak a whole different language. Everything they like to add IE or Y to the end of words that don't need it.
Shorzy.
Just because it's a thing. All right, we're going to get the hour going. Carrie Moore is going to join us here in just a few minutes from the Health Council. Amy McVeigh-Tejas with the Historical Society later on this hour as well. So let's do this. It's 10 after 9. Let's do a weather update, and then we'll take a quick commercial break, and then Carrie Moore will join us here in about 3 minutes. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Cloudy and cool today. We have a little cold front dropping through the area, maybe a little bit of drizzle, and our afternoon high stays in the mid-50s. For the overnight hours, we'll stay cloudy, upper 30s to mid-40s on the low, and then we're back to sunny and warmer weather on Tuesday with high pressure moving in. We're back up to about 70, low 60s, and sunny on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
In a medical emergency, every second counts. Artesia General Hospital's emergency department is open 24/7, staffed with highly trained professionals ready to provide life-saving care when you need it most. Don't wait. When minutes matter, trust Artesia General Hospital. Quality emergency care close to home. Learn more at artesiageneral.com.
Take your career to the next level. If you have mechanical aptitude, the Crumlin Auto Group wants to talk to you. Make real money without driving to the oil field. Certified master technicians can earn up to $70 an hour. Entry-level technicians start at $20 an hour with free training and tools. The Crumlin Auto Group offers competitive wages, health insurance, a 401k, housing assistance, and a sign-on bonus of up to $20,000. You could be making over $150,000 a year. Apply today at KAGNM.com. KAGNM.com.
Space, the final frontier.
Aye, Captain. You can choose your space at Main Trailer Sales.
Fascinating. Don't cling on to that old camper. The logical choice. New Durangos, Montanas, Cougars, and Passports from Main Trailer Sales. They allow space and comfort. Boldly explore like never before.
Beam on board to that perfect camper.
Don't go camping without us. Live long and explore.
Main Trailer Sales. Don't go camping without us.
Maybe your AC unit needs a little tender loving care. If you don't know where to turn, then you don't know Jack. In fact, they're downright funky. Let the boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating get your AC unit ice cold, just like some of my lady friends. Don't let any fool make you lose your cool. Fergie's Plumbing and Heating. If you don't know Fergie, then you don't know Jack. 622-2660.
Have you experienced the Valley Cafe yet? It's much more than lunch or dinner. It's an experience. Chef Anthony Noble is a nominated Chef of the Year and manager with a 4.9 out of 5 kitchen cleanliness rating and a 4.8 out of 5 most loved rating. It's time for you to experience the difference that so many others already have at the Valley Cafe. Visit for lunch or dinner at 801 West Brasher, the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell. And save the Valley Cafe in your contacts. 575-755-EATS. 575-755-3287. Don't forget, we can cater your event too, and a portion of our proceeds go to the Dream Center in Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The first toilet being flushed in a motion picture was in the movie Psycho. Mike thought it was Gone with the Wind. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 14 minutes after 9 o'clock. Maybe I should wait. I should have hit that right now. But anyway, good morning. It is 14 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from the Chaffetz County Health Council, Carrie Moore back with us. Good morning. How are you today?
For things.
I know. I'm one of those. By the way, blah, 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 we're on. Yeah. So, but first off, how is your day going? Are you a Super Bowl? Do you even care about that stuff, or are you a fan?
No, it happens too late in the afternoon, and everybody. No, I get too cold.
Well, I know as a purveyor of food, you like to cook and things. I didn't know if you were one that felt like a need to cook Super Bowl things for people or not.
No, and well, okay. So when I was going to UNM, I worked for the Lobos, and I broke down football game tapes.
Okay.
So I watched football 8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
So it was a job for you.
It was a job. Yeah. After that, I don't watch football as much anymore.
Like I could care less.
Yeah, there's only so many of those game tapes. I mean, because if you ever broke down game tapes, you're watching the same game.
Oh, I know.
For a week.
And you're looking at, and you're pointing, yeah, I imagine. And you've got to categorize and stuff for the coaches to do whatever they're going to do with it. And,
yeah, there was only, special teams, man.
Because I imagine, and I'm going to guess, now that we're in a little bit more modern times where they, all the players and everybody have iPads, so I imagine these film people have to build this whole thing for them so each player can access, each coach can access, and so if you're on that department,
I'm going with that because I'm young enough that I had iPads when I was in college.
Say it was probably mostly done in film rooms and things. They didn't. But nowadays, but here's the other work. You had to do it probably with tape and you know what I mean. It wasn't.
I was on VCR.
Yeah, it wasn't digital like it was where you could just like copy, move. It was a lot more effort in the tape. You had to transfer it over to this and maybe even cut and splice. Maybe depending on some of that technology.
Well, if it puts any time frame into this, Urlacher was a sophomore.
There you go. That's right. It was before the blue fields and all that stuff.
So a little dated there.
But but for bringing it back here, for folks who don't know, the Travis County Health Council, of course, the big thing that the public needs to know is they are the purveyor of the 211, which is if you're looking for resources for health care and of course over the lately here with flooding and fires and everything else that's been going on, it's been kind of that resource for those kinds of resources. But it is still also the date if you're looking for any health advice, if you're new to town and looking for doctors, or if you're trying to find resources for whatever, kids, vaccines, to shots, to everything, that 211 is a great resource for that.
So Travis County is the only county in the state that operates the 211 line. And when I say county, we're not a government agency, so we are a nonprofit.
Yeah, this is all volunteers and community people. I mean, there's some grant money.
We have some paid staff, but
this is mostly volunteers and people that are grassroots. This isn't people. These aren't people that work for the government by day and all that.
No, not at all. So we operate that resource line. We try to find all the resources we can, which is kind of like my forte is finding information. So it kind of works out on that one. It's not a 24/7 hotline. It's only
right. Yeah, don't call it a 2 a.m, but during the business hours, it's because it's volunteers that run the line and things. It's not like a 911. If you have an emergency, 911 or the mental health
988 for mental health.
Your resource lines in there. But if you're just wanting gee-whiz general health care information, or even outside that scope, if you're like, hey, what's the rec side of things like in town here? If you're new to town and looking for those kind of, the 211 is kind of that information source there.
Yeah, we get calls all the time. What's happening? Is there an event going on? What's education pieces?
What's going on with the rec center to hey, what's and then of course the other big thing, which I imagine we're probably going to have to do some talking here in the summer, but is the big health expo that you guys put on every usually August time frame.
In August.
Unfortunately, it might not be happening at the same location than it normally does because of. I
don't think it'll be ready.
I don't think it'll be ready by then. So we may be talking about, I don't know if it's fairgrounds or wherever we're doing it this year. But
that's this week's agenda is to find a location to house.
By the way, if you want to get involved, you can always come to those health council meetings and be a part of it too.
Which, by the way, the Health Council membership meeting is this week.
Okay.
It's this Wednesday over at 500 North Main at the bank.
Yeah.
What do they call the bank now? SunWest Center is what we always called it.
I don't want
the big red and white bank.
I always say
Main.
Bank of the America building, and people, it's not the bank. SunWest building. Let's go with that. It's the red, white, and blue building downtown that oddly used to look like the building that Bank of America was in, where Peppers is up.
There you go. So Suite 102. It's a lunchtime meeting. It's from 12 to 1. We try to make it short and sweet. And again, it's the membership. So. This is where anybody and everybody.
Yeah, I'd love to have people, because this is, like you said, it's all volunteers. And really, it's like the public work, like the stuff like the 211 and the Health Expo, that's kind of what you see the public sees. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes as far as getting resources. If there's like working with our healthcare entities in town to get them information and resources. Like there's a lot of times, like, if you guys get a hold of some expert with autism or something like that, you're reaching out to our various healthcare people saying, hey, there's a person in town with some stuff. Your professionals might want to chime in on this one and get some in. That's all that the Health Council does too, that not necessarily the public sees all the time.
Right. Yeah. We're about coordination. We're coordinating the health pieces.
Yeah.
And when we say health, we're talking everything. I mean, so it's not just, your blood pressure and your heart.
Sure.
Financial health, because that affects
everything.
A lot
impacts
of things.
Quality of life.
Exactly.
Mental health, because mental health is a big, broad and what causes mental health and what the triggers and things like that. It's all part of that. So yes, when we talk health counsel, it's very broad. So when it comes to needing food assistance and things like that, that too comes under that umbrella. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, we do all that too. We are working on the Veteran Symposium.
Excellent.
So that's next month. So that's March 29th.
And they've been meeting over at the Legion Hall there on like monthly or quarterly or something.
So we have the Together with Veterans program, which
so
is
it's a little different.
Yeah, it's a little different. So the Together with Veterans program is about rural suicide awareness. And so we're building those pieces.
Symposium's the big event that usually happens down like the Armory or something.
Right. Yeah. So like this Saturday is the teams meeting, the Together with Veterans meeting, which will be over at the VFW.
Yes. They're on Montana.
On
American
Montana.
Legion Post 28.
There you go.
I don't know the actual address. It's on Montana there. You can't miss it.
Yeah. And that starts at 11:30.
It's down the road from all the other, was it
the
Joy
ball
Center?
fields and Joy Center.
Right there. It's all there on Montana.
So we have that we're still working on that, and then the symposium. We got to have them all different names, right? The symposium will be about gathering the resources that are available just for the veterans.
Yeah, that is for veterans, and it'll usually the morning they'll have different panel discussions and things about veteran benefits and things. Usually. All kinds of, usually your VFWs and all the veterans organizations usually have representation. But if you're looking to tap into benefits, if you're looking to find out what your benefits are, if you're looking to find resources through veterans, whether it's healthcare services or financial services.
Or new is the tax exempt status.
Yeah. Put it this way, there is perks for being a veteran. If you're not taking advantage of them, go to the symposium and learn this stuff.
Yes.
Because you're full, do you want to pay more for taxes if you don't have to?
No, nobody does.
If you're a veteran, you can go down to the clerk's office and register and get a discount on your taxes. And you've earned this as being a veteran. Take advantage of it.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
This is one of the rewards of it.
And I know some veterans are stubborn and we're like, I don't know.
Some.
All.
I love y'all.
Yeah, we're as hard headed as they come. Well, I think what it is we got, when you're active duty, you're so used to being told where to win and how to do it and everything else that when you're on your own, you're kind of like, I'm done with people telling me where to go and how to do it. I figured that one out. I'll get there my way.
Yeah.
That's kind of what most of us kind of think. It's like I've been yelled at for 20 years. I'm done getting that crap. But again, this is kind of 211. Call it if you have any questions about any of the stuff we're talking about. That's call the 211. We'd be happy to resource that kind of. As far as flooding and all that, is there any new updates? I know FEMA's they're still there, but they've kind of pulled chocks. But if you still have cases and things in there, still helping all that.
So,
is there any kind of updates there?
The only update that we've got going on, so the long-term recovery group, which is pretty much the ones that kind of take over after FEMA's done.
FEMA goes on to the next.
They're still in their planning process. They're hoping to have a community meeting here pretty soon.
Okay.
But that'll be the group that'll come in and say, okay, we've got X amount of dollars in the community. Let's start finding volunteers. Let's purchase a truckload of sheetrock and bring these volunteers in and let's go to work.
Right.
Because we know FEMA's not going to cover everybody's expenses or losses in this one. So
they'll get you the bare minimum, but then the creature comfort, to getting back to the that's where these other resources.
That's where the community comes back into play on it. So it feels like, I know we're getting a lot of calls and people feel like we've forgotten and things have just slowed down, and it's not necessarily the case. It's just it's taking a different turn and a different way to start the recovery process. Still, if you haven't utilized your FEMA and your appeals, you have to appeal everything. Because even if they give you some money, you have to say, well, you know what? I need more than that. Appeal it.
Anybody that's had experience going disability or any of these, it's the same gauntlet you have to do.
Yep.
It's designed by design. And the FEMA reps will tell you that. That's why if you went to the mall or they came to your door and they know the system. This is why they tell you, are you sure? sure, because as soon as you say the magic word, I can check this box and everything. But all you got to do is say the magic word.
And they're not going to tell you that word.
But they're going to kind of, lead you there if you let them. But they are there to help, and they know the buttons to push to get you through, and the buttons that will be the roadblocks. And so, that's why the FEMA reps themselves will, because they're almost going to say, I guarantee they're going to shoot you down the first time. It's no different than disability or Social Security. Anytime you're applying for these kind of benefits, the odds of you getting through the first time are pretty slim to none.
Well, and it's not necessarily that they shoot you down all the way. It's kind of like they lowball it at the beginning, because when they do their assessments, they say, okay, well, this is all the damage you have.
Yeah.
And then when you bring in your contractors, they're like, oh, yeah, no, they're delusional, and they don't understand how, the rest of the world works.
At the end of the day, they want to pay the least amount to fix the problem as humanly possible.
And so that's where you take all those quotes and all that stuff and you go back and you appeal it. Again, if you need help working through the process or need more information on it, you can call 211. They can transfer you and get you in touch with me, and I can help you navigate some of those systems and some of the things that we've learned through the process on some of those keywords on how to get some of those things. We can do that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So please, 211, again, reach out. And then, of course, if you want more information about Veteran Symposium or any of that stuff, don't hesitate to call on that, too.
And on the Veteran Symposium, we are working on putting together a resource guide just for the veterans, which will, of course, have the normal resources. But we're trying to gather the list of the veteran-owned businesses.
Oh, nice.
So this way we can try to support.
Sure, absolutely.
That demographic,
I know a lot of people, when they choose what business they support, they look at a lot of things like that. So we can say, well, if you like to support veteran-owned businesses, here's a list of 20, 30 of them here in Chavez County.
Right. So if you have a veteran-owned business, give 211 a call, because then we can direct you to where we can get your information and get you in our resource guide, because it's important. We want to support everybody that we can.
Absolutely. So again, 211 is kind of the catch-all. If you missed anything we're talking about here, that's that resource.
It's an easy number to remember.
And and by the way, like I said, if you're looking for a place to get involved in our community, the Chavez County Health Council is always looking for volunteers to serve in various capacities. Whether it is when we have these events and we need the actual logistics of people moving and setting up booths and everything, from coming to some of these membership meetings and coming to these committee meetings, serving on the board and various committees, because like I said, it's mostly volunteers. There are so many people that this is not their day job, when they're doing 20 other things. And unfortunately, the amount of work that is needed that the Health Council's tackling requires a lot of volunteers, a lot of help here.
Right. And the membership is kind of what guides the council to start with, because we need those pieces to be able to determine what our community needs. Sure. I mean, that's the whole reason that we have county health councils, is because Santa Fe can't figure out what it is we
and that's
do.
why it's and to be honest, it's the help, because we've just had such a weird year of events. This health council's had to be very fluid and very triage moment, and so. But that's how the Health Council is built. It's built to be that way. It's not supposed to be the rigid where Red Cross and says, okay, when Red Cross is here, X, and X, and X happen. And Health Council's like, that's wonderful, except X, and X won't get what we need. We need X, Y, Z, and then X again. And this is what we do. And this is kind of like if you looked at the fires in Ruidoso and all that, and Red Cross come in, and we kind of, if you remember, we kind of already had everything triaged a little bit, and then Red Cross come in there and just moved all the logistics around and created a complete hot mess. And when the flooding happened here, I think Health Council and other people said, Red Cross, we are going to do it this way. You will march to our drum beat, and this is how. And that's kind of how this one went. I mean, FEMA come in on this one, so it got a little different. But what I'm saying is, I feel like Red Cross, because we're here. There was a little less of that for the
because we're here, we live here, we know what the resources are. So when it comes to some of these pieces, they're looking at us anyways, because we have those ties. Now, they still work within the government pieces, because that's how that's all tied together.
Red tape.
Yeah. But I mean, this is where we all kind of work great together.
Sure.
on it.
And that's where so if you want to get involved, please reach out. Call 201. They'd be happy to come to the next membership meeting this week here. Again, at the Sun West building, we'll call it that.
500 North Main.
And what's the date and time of that again?
That is Wednesday the 12th at noon.
Very good. So this at noon, and again here at the Sun West building,
Suite 102.
102.
Yep,
good.
downstairs.
Did we get it all?
I think so. We did Health Council. We did Expo, Veterans.
Well, we'll get it again in 2 weeks for the next.
Yeah, well, in 2 weeks everything will change. So it'll be something else.
It'll be different, but the same. Like the meeting times will be different, but the needs are going to be the same.
Right.
As always, Carrie, thank you very much, and don't work too hard.
I try not to.
It is 9:31. We're going to take a quick break, and then Amy McVeigh-Tejas with the historical side would join us. Don't go away.
Attention Roswell, the all-new Roswell Ford is back and open for business for service, parts, and sales at our dealership at 821 North Main Street. Our goal for 2025 is to make buying a new Ford and quality pre-owned vehicle super fun, super fast, and super easy. In fact, we'll give you the price we give to a friend or family member right up front. Bring us any trade in any condition. Don't even wash it. At Roswell Ford, all trades are welcome. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? We can help. We'll take your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with even more aggressive lenders, all with great rates and terms for good credit, no credit, and even bad credit, with rates as low as 0% APR. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Huge savings, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance, plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
Hi, everyone. This is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. Valentine's Day has been a time-honored tradition of expressing love and affection for the wonderful people in our lives. Why not honor them with the comfort and new smells of furniture from Glenn's? Leather, wood, and luxurious fabrics are beautiful reminders of how much they are loved for many years to come. Skip the roses and chocolates this year and give gifts that last. Come see us at Glenn's for Valentine's Day on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
So you've got questions about the birds and the bees? What would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben Manette with Roswell Seed Company. If Jim was here, he'd tell you that it's time to order your bees. You'll get a 3-pound box of live bees and a queen, and that's enough to start a hive. As for the birds, we're talking about baby chicks. Not only are they cute as can be, they'll soon be supplying your family with fresh eggs. So come see us at Roswell Seed and find out all about the birds and the bees.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Elephants use these skin folds on their bodies to crush mosquitoes. Mike Winters uses his to hide M&Ms. Here's Mike Winters.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Every once in a while, you get in that wrinkle, and there's a peanut butter M&M in there. It's like, hey, it's going to be a good day, Mike. Hey, good morning. It is 33 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, Amy McVeigh-Tejas back with us. Good morning. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I know you're a sports fan.
Mm-hmm.
Were you happy with you were probably rooting for the Chiefs, weren't you? I'm going to guess you're more of a Mahomes person.
I will go ahead and publicly say I was going green.
Yeah.
And shout out to Travis Ackerman from Philadelphia, one of our board members. He's probably green from top to.
Philly fans are the worst. I've said my piece on this show many a time. They know how I feel.
I'm underdogs. At underdogs, I don't know.
I just know you're a football fan and everything else. I thought maybe with Mahomes and the Tech connection. I was like, I bet Amy might be
I'm a Texas Longhorn, so then there's...
Oh, that's true. You're more Longhorn. So.
I've got a lot of family that are Red Raiders, though. So see, there's good in all things.
Sure. But when you get on that stage, it's kind of the same.
It is. And no, it is. It is.
It's kind of like... Landry Jones when he was a Bulldog. We didn't root for him.
Yes.
But now that he was in the NFL, we rooted for him as a Bulldog.
My husband, Ralph, I'm sure Ralph's listening.
Yeah.
Oklahoma Sooner connection.
That's right.
There's that legacy.
helped around here. A lot of OU fans.
So many. I mean, so many. So, I think we could all agree it was a surprise and it didn't go the way we all thought it was going to go
We thought the Chiefs were going to play. I mean, they are, a dynasty team. And they got taken to the woodshed.
That's what I like about sports. You just never.
But I ain't gonna lie, because Washington, they played them better than the Chiefs did against the Eagles, and we beat them once, and I'm like, this could have been us. Like, we should have won last week. We would have took the Chiefs of the woodshed and Washington beat us. That's right. I'm telling you right now, I hope, get ready for 1980s all over again. I think it's going to happen. I think with the NFC East, the way it's shaping up, and if y'all remember the 1980s and the first half of the 90s, Super Bowls were only coming from the NFC East. It was the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Giants, or the Washington Redskins. Those were the three teams that were putting out Super Bowls every year. San Francisco would slip in there
because I was fixing to say that was my high school years, good old days,
San
middle
Fran
school,
would get in
high
there,
school.
but usually it was one of those three teams.
That's true.
And like I'm telling you right now, the AFC didn't win a Super Bowl. I don't think in the whole decade of the 80s there was not an AFC team winning the Super Bowl. You know, it was since when the 49ers beat the Bengals. What was that, 81?
See, Ralph and they had that screenshot of all the years and who come back. See, my memory is so bad.
So and that's like my earliest football memory was that Montana Bengals Super Bowl, and the next year was the Redskins Dolphins Super Bowl, and so that was like 82.
Oh, I gotcha.
So it's like 81 when I was old enough to kind of remember.
No, I just love sports. I was just thinking on the way over here. Shout out! I know signing day was last week.
Yeah.
Just shout out to all that. So many amazing kids doing great things.
NMMI
all in Roswell.
I was on. I follow NMMI on X, and I saw last week. They signed kids from all over the country.
I love it.
I think there's some locals too. I think I saw a Goddard player get signed. I saw a kid from Lovington get signed.
And you know what I liked is some new colleges. I know Roswell had 3 going to WT.
Yeah.
Just some fun things. But you know, we have great kids in this town, and I think something we're weak at is celebrating all kids from all areas. So you know what? These are our kids, and this is a nice segue.
I was going to say, speaking, we're entering that time of the year.
We love
where scholarship
kids.
Season is going on.
Kids, that's our passion. I think that's one of the things that drives me to continue at this historical society. I work my tail off. We celebrate history, but I think we can agree it comes back to our future generations. We've got great kids in Roswell. I love Roswell.
Absolutely.
I love going from Gateway to Roswell to Goddard. I love even early college and University High and all. I love it.
And it kind of even gets a little bigger than Roswell. It goes into Chaves County. And
Artesia, Dexter, Hagerman, Lake Arthur.
And we get into scholarship time, and then we get a little farther north for Sumner. And we get, and even kids, Santa Fe, Albuquerque area.
Well, and we were heading in the valley, at Lincoln County.
Yeah, Lincoln, New Mexico.
Capitan, and the condo and all this.
Well, we have such a deep history.
We do.
Like the Historical Society, we cover all of history of all of Southeast New Mexico, but we do have a lot, because a lot went on during that Lincoln County War. And so we do have a lot that kind of focuses on that period of time. Because let's face it, if you look at Southeast New Mexico's history, in the modern history, I'm saying with the last 200-300 years.
Yep.
That's probably one of the high water mark of events in Southeast New Mexico was the Lincoln County Wars. When you got literally people, and I don't know if y'all know this, but like when the town of Lincoln lost its county seat to Socorro, they did not give it up without issue. Like when the people from Socorro came down to get the records from Lincoln, they were met at gunpoint at the town entrance saying, "You will not be getting those records today." That's the kind of history we have, and it's all of that Lincoln County War and all. That was some of the aftermath of some of that.
That's right.
You know, that's the beauty of the history of this area, and so that's what we celebrate. As much as we celebrate that, we also celebrate these kids to preserve the next generation of not Lincoln County Wars, but the great things that do come from Chaves County.
They're all part of our family. I was just thinking, one of our scholarship recipients has just gone through some tragedy. I'd say tragedy. She lost her mother. Shout out to the McCurry family. You know, I mention this because when one of our scholarship kids receives a scholarship, they're told that. They're generally greeted by Troy Hayes. And we stand there and we talk, we pray, and we remind them they're part of our family. So when something happens, we're here for them, and it doesn't stop. We've got one out of the country with her doctorates now and married with kids. I have one kid in Artesia.
That is a cool part.
If we call Plateau, it's usually Felipe answering the phone, and I'm like, hello. Yeah. But, it's not. It's a part of us and we. So we show love through the good and the bad. And I just want to encourage, if people are listening and say, yeah, I've heard this, or I don't have a high school senior, or I don't know kids in college. We share these links, and I think it's important. You know what I was looking at, Mike, when I wake up, we all get our phones out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was more blasting from homes to all of that. And I was thinking, if people took a moment to start sharing these kinds of things that impact lives, no pun intended, but don't we have a little bit better things to grow? That game's done.
Absolutely.
There was a victory there.
Sure.
But let's share some things like this. Go to our social media, go to Instagram, go to Facebook. Let's impact lives. One thing, if you're listening and you have money that you could help make it possible.
You want to create your own? Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Every year.
The Hayes family has been our catalyst to really be the stewards of this, and their family kind of springboarded it, but they've inspired other families to do and do their, maybe not to the level the Hayeses can, but their little bit and everything.
You know what? Every penny.
But if you are inspired, maybe your family says, and if you're looking for a conduit to help distribute or do that, the Historical Society would be happy to help you in that.
It's an honor.
This is something, and this is where Amy's, passion as the executive director for all things Historical Society goes too. But it's those partnerships, because when we work with Job Corps, when we work with the Youth Challenge, and we work with these various youth groups, or in the schools, working with the various clubs and things like that. That is it's twofold. It's creating new history, but it's also putting our history in the laps of the next generation of New Mexicans. Or Americans here, depending on if they're going to stay here and or grow their wings and go off to wherever life takes them.
We have nursing. We have kids at ENMUR to Notre Dame to all over.
But that's kind of gets back to what you were talking about earlier. Is we've been doing these scholarships thanks to the Hayes family and others for so many years. That we've got like the grandbaby syndrome, where we've got where the kids are now starting to apply,
and they're married.
But then we see like somebody that got a scholarship 5-10 years ago, and then they come back to town to visit or whatever, and now they're going on and they're a CEO of a company, or they're
teaching
going on to be a professor, or they're on to doing great things, or they're in the military doing well. I mean, there's every single person that comes back is gone on to have happy lives and do things that they're making a difference in their worlds and ours too.
So all of our scholarships are Google Doc applications. Our website is roswellnmhistory.org. Our scholarships are available now through March the 28th.
Yeah.
I strongly encourage kids in the land of manana, we're really encouraging these kids. It's this. Lackadaisical. Oh yeah,
we are procrastinators, and it's human nature. It's all of us. But New Mexico more than and I know this just from and everybody that puts on a concert event knows this. I do.
Our events. How many times have we been?
If people don't buy tickets to get involved, then in like a day or two before the event, everybody and their uncle shows up wanting to take. That's just how New Mexico rolls.
That is true. But
and these scholarships are no different. We're going to be talking about this for a month. But I guarantee when the deadline comes up here, and was it
March the 28th?
March 28th, we're going to get about 37 applications, March 26th through the 28th.
Yep.
I can
and
guarantee
then something can happen. We've had that. So start today, upload your things. So let's just talk a little bit about, we will be offering Humanities and Arts Scholarship, or plural, singular
there's
on
multiple.
STEM, character, and continuing ed. We want to remind students, if they have a major and a minor, they can apply for more than one. For example, character, that covers anybody.
Now for most of these scholars, is it with the exception of the continuing education, these are for high school seniors.
That's exactly right.
The only one that's not for current college students or higher learning students,
right?
Because trade schools
trading
and all
school,
that
continuing ed. That's university, college.
Only thing military, because I know they pay you. But anyway, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but it's that one is for your but the others. If you're the 17 high school seniors, please apply for these scholarships. You could get. What is it to 20?
It's $1,250 as scholarship, and it's a one-time. It's a one-time scholarship.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me if it's renewable. That's a one-time scholarship. The checks are cut
now,
directly
the continuing
to
education,
students.
you can apply again.
That's true.
If you're a senior this year and you apply for, say, a STEM scholarship, come on back next
That's
year
right.
and apply for that continuing education scholarship. Yeah.
If you have any questions, you can call 622-8333, historydirector@outlook.com. Share the link on our Instagram page, Facebook page, and just share that.
And
share
y'all
the
do an
information.
amazing job, and I want you to do it again this year. I'm nowhere near this committee, and by design, by design, I'm telling you right now, because and this happens every single year. We get amazing applications. The students that come, because when you go to RoswellMHistory.org, read the requirements. There's some an essay.
Click on that link,
and it's all digital. We're not doing anything paperwork.
We cannot receive a paper application.
Part of the process of filling out a scholarship application, and you need to remind your students this, is the fact, can you do this correctly? And that is a graded thing. So if you're not turning in the things, that could disqualify you for the scholarship. And I will tell you this right now, based on the quality of years past applications, if you don't pay attention to those details, they will indeed, in fact, get you disqualified. Because the content of these applications, I'm telling you right now, everyone on that committee, they get into knockdown dragouts because they want to fight for every one of these. And to be honest, I wish we could give every single one of these students one. We work really hard, because I know for a fact that even, we didn't get awarded for the Hayes, but hey, maybe we can get them in here and they do this. And this is what happens is these folks in the committee say, we can't award them this, but maybe we can put them here. Or they're trying to find the money even when we can't award them money. And because and so these people have that passion. So I'm telling you right now, do your due diligence. Don't wait until a day before this thing. Get serious about this. Start doing your groundwork now. Start formulating your essays and percolating your thoughts and meanings on this. And by all means, apply for multiple ones. If you're humanities, maybe you're doing your majors in STEM related, your minors in humanities, you apply for both, and let's see what we can do here. But please go to the Roswell M History page. Read all of the stuff. Everything's digital. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to Amy. She'll be happy to answer them. But when it comes into the application process, it is stringent. There is no flexibility here, because by design, this is the way it has to be to anticipate fairness and level playing field.
100%. There's spreadsheets. It's a large committee. Travis Heckerman heads up that committee. Nobody sees spreadsheets. They forward them in.
We can't show favorites in a thing like this.
It is what it is. And I'm just proud of that program. I was looking at our newsletter to cover things. We've got a lot going on. Whether it's Youth Challenge scholarships coming up. If you have any more questions, though, about scholarships, don't hesitate to call 622-8333. We'll help you in any way. Speaking of scholarships, Teen Leadership Institute, I know people will come in next week. Leadership Roswell Alumni Association is offering the Teen Leadership Institute program April the 11th and 12th.
One of the best in the town, man. It is really,
it's great.
They do an amazing.
Juniors
Roswell.
and seniors.
And you can get scholarships at both times. Like if you came in as a junior and won scholarships, round 2 this year as a senior. Come on
and
down.
it's kind of competitive. So I'm going to strongly encourage, we can only accept so many students.
Yeah, it's usually like 30 or something.
Even less than that.
Is it less
it's going to be 20 to 25.
Okay.
So follow, I know I saw the announcements. If you are a member of the chamber, those are all links. And I know Leadership
Roswell
have that links
there if you got it.
Teen Leadership Institute. And I know, but there's no charge for that. You must apply. It is Google Docs. You'll find the link.
And what I love about it is, like, the scholarships and all of that, at the end of the day, it's really the own peers that do this stuff.
Oh, for sure.
It's
fun.
The adult leaders are there to guide and to, make sure the house don't burn down, so to speak. But it's run by the leaders.
No, it is.
It's
That's right.
Youth leader run.
That's right. That's right.
They're teaching leadership.
Oh,
so
for
it's
sure.
Really, and so what I love about it is at the end of the weekend, these students grow together and build and they create friendships. It really it's weird that there's lifelong friendships from a 2-day or 3-day teen leadership event, depending on the year you win.
And it's not just from winning. I think the cliche is everybody leaves a winner, whether you're an adult or a student. We're all better. We've worked so hard with so many. One thing I do want to mention: we're needing sponsors. We're needing donations. Whether you're sponsoring food, you can contact. You can even call the Historical Society, and I know there's
was about to
information,
say,
but
I
Leadership
wanted-
Roswell Alumni Association, Facebook, Instagram, and Leadership Roswell.
Yeah, reach out to there, and if you call the Historical Society,
Oh, for sure. We'll just-
leadership, we'll be
connect
happy
the
to connect the dots.
it-
But as far as Historical Society donations, I know we're in 4th grade school tour
Yes,
season.
yes,
I
it is that
imagine you could use a
time.
lot of
Next
donations
month,
for everything from paper towels to
oh my goodness,
to,
yes,
to,
we're fixing to
things
start,
to make butter.
Yes,
you know?
we're fixing. As Margaret, if you're listening,
Yeah.
hi Margaret. She loves this show, Mike. She loves you. Margaret just asked me, do we have room to put bread? We're working on homemade. If somebody just wanted to call right now, call the museum at 622-8333 and said, Amy, I'd love to donate juice. Like, we go through a lot of juice.
A lot of 4th graders, they drink a lot of juice.
If you gave a Sam's card and we were just able to buy juice, let me just be clear. Anything we can do to impact lives. We're filling, Mike, we're filling about 900 or 1,000 backpacks tomorrow. If you can donate something, pens, pencils, anything, we want to impact.
Use
now,
it as
we
a
have to
marketing
get
for your
approval
business.
on
I don't care if you got 37 rulers with your business name on it. Come on down and bring it. We'll
we
take
have
it.
to get approval on things, but
Right, obviously,
I
depending on
would
the
love
business.
to have that issue if somebody said,
Yeah.
hey, I want to donate 1,000 things, and we'll ask for permission.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, depending on your business,
Right.
probably not a lot
That's
of
right.
weed dispensary items in our kid bags.
probably not so much. But like the
yeah,
dairy
I get you.
industry, we've been so blessed to have some great supporters. Some things coming up tomorrow is Texas Roadhouse Night on
yes,
behalf
Dine
of the
to Donate
society. Dine to donate. Please follow us on Instagram or Facebook. You need the image.
You need the flyer.
3 to 10.
If you can get a digital version, if you go to our Facebook page, or if you shoot Amy an email or whatever, she'll be happy to send you a copy of that digital
And
flyer.
Every time, Mike, we'll have somebody, John LeMay, if you're listening. Oh, Amy, I forgot my flyer.
Yeah.
Hey, text me, 575-915-4471. I can literally text you the image, and you'll have it right there.
So come on down, play, and that'll be tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
It goes. What time do they start? About 3.
At 3.
3 to
and
10.
then you can get a really good deal. Hey, if you're into deals, go. I think 3 to 5, you can get a deal and help us.
That's right. Or if you
take out, show your flyer.
Although I would argue, if you go right at 3, we'll call that a late lunch. And then maybe about 8:30,
Heck
maybe
yeah,
about
that's
8:30,
what
9
I'm
o'clock,
talking
have a
about.
little dinner,
Boom.
and then we got a twofer.
Goodness, that's what I'm
Maybe
talking
go for a
about.
burger at 3 and then a steak
That's-
around
heck
8:30
yeah.
or 9.
While I'm thinking about it, so tomorrow, February 11th, is Texas Roadhouse Night, Historical Society. If you can't make tomorrow, mark your calendars. The next one is April the 15th.
Okay.
We're going to kind of do it quarterly
that'll be
this year.
tax day. Might be a lot of people crying that day. Need a
well, we're
deal.
celebrating. It's over. That's right. Just
'Cause, you know, they-
drown your sorrows in rain bread.
Well, and that's just it. At April 15th, those are all the people that had to pay. All the people that
That's
get
true.
money back, they got it
That's
right
true.
now.
They're ready. That's
April,
ready.
those are the ones that had to cut checks, so they're sad people.
So
come
school
for a
tours
deal.
are in March. Next thing I was going to mention is our blood drive. I think we're filling up pretty good, but we
Good.
still have appointments. That is Thursday, March the 20th. If you want for me to schedule you, I'll be happy to do that. I can do that remotely. Just text me at 575-915-4471.
There's always a few extra perks whenever you donate.
Yeah,
at
we're
the,
blessed. We've
if you-
got good blessings.
Yeah,
good,
Amy,
good blessings.
Amy likes to do swag bags for
do.
everybody, even
Thank
when you
you.
do blood drives. and
Well, we've
everything,
got some
so.
good support. Thank you. NMI, ROTC, and some Pioneer, and some great ones. Next thing I want to mention, see you at the poll. Ladies
every
and gentlemen,
Wednesday.
we're doing that, and it's going to change a little bit in March just because of school tours and stuff. We've got to
Busy
protect
month,
the kids. This month, every Wednesday, we'll be at the poll. Please stop in, 9 o'clock. Let's just share our support. We've had a lot of things going on here. Our intention is pulling the community together, impacting
It's an informal,
lives.
formal thing. If
It
that
is.
Makes it. Like
It is.
There's come as you are, come, but and like I know there was like over the holidays here, we had a few days where you didn't have an official one, but I'm pretty sure people still came out, just kind of
it's
came
true.
out on a Wednesday,
Yes.
did their own prayer, hang out for 5-10 minutes, and go
Yes.
on about their day. But it kind of started during the campaign season with elections and
Yeah.
everything. And it's just evolving. We've had
We've
fires
done
and
the
floods.
National Day of Prayer.
But we've
that
had
kind of
fires
thing.
and floods,
Yes,
and
tragedy.
Roswell's just been a lot, and southeast
That's
New Mexico's
true.
just been through a lot in the last year. And so it's just kind of into a thing. It's like, hey, let's use this Wednesday and just use this as a moment to pray, maybe even check in on each other a little bit, and
Right.
just kind of, hey, let's just the family being the family for a Wednesday. Come on down and come and pray at the poll with us.
Yes.
And you get it if you're busy. and you can't make it, then but you know what? If you can do it from
Join from where you are.
If you're at the office,
we've had
or
people
whatever.
drive by and honk. We've had people loose change. We're still collecting loose change. I love that. It's spring cleaning, collecting loose change. Our insurance has gone up huge. So we have the Historical Society Property Insurance Challenge. If you're able to make a donation, we would love your support on that. One thing we've made an intentional effort to is really giving back to our community, partnering. You and I are both passionate. We serve on a lot of boards. It's not about me. It's about we.
Right.
Community Kitchen. And we've been praying for Brad and a lot of things. We've been serving Elaine Mayfield, Stacey Rocha,
They can
John.
always use more volunteers
Give us
to
a
do that.
call. Give us a call because we are intentionally every month going, and we love our Historical Society family. So if you want to be part of serving at the Community Kitchen with us, great things, great people,
And
great
if you're another
people doing great
organization out
things.
there, I would invite you to maybe give Community Kitchen a call. So maybe you can pick a day and say, hey,
amazing.
maybe we can make it, JC night or whoever organizations out there.
Yes, and we're running out of time, and it's membership time, and including Mike Winters.
I know I got to cut a check because I was sick and I missed the meeting.
That's
so,
all right.
yeah.
Well, but
we were all sick that
things
day.
happen. Well, the flu, my gosh, if it's flu or this.
Yeah.
It's membership time. Make sure and renew your membership. You can log on to roswellmhistory.org. Sweet Robin, she's a volunteer. We've even picked up checks. We can make more money with a check versus credit card. So we
Don't
save
leave. I got mine here.
see, Mike Winters
I
has
just
his
remembered
check
it's
back.
sitting here.
All right.
So don't
but
leave.
it's membership time. If you're not, become a member for as minimal as $30 up to $1,000. We'd love to have a call saying, you know what, Abby, we want to be a scholarship membership, offer another scholarship. Heck yeah. But call us for more information. We just love your support. We're open by appointment. Oh, my goodness. We've been giving appointments in the morning. You know what, Mike? When it gets hot.
Yeah, so the weather's getting nice.
Well, it
People wanna come out,
is. It is morning, afternoon, lunch. We're fine with that. If you're call and make an appointment. Ask for more information. We've got a lot of fun things. That Art NM event coming up. A lot of fun things. So much going on.
You get to find out why they had so many open doors and things on those kind of houses in the 80s when they got in the warm in the summer. And it's like, you get to see why the house is designed like, because, when it's hot, they didn't have air conditioning back. That's why there's flow patterns and things to let wind blow through. And that's why that porch is built the way it's built.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me just the other day, and I love questions. Amy, why is your door locked? Well, because our board wants to protect me, and I work a lot by myself. The back door and front door may be locked for protection of some issues we had them to protect and secure, but that doesn't mean we're not open. We're being safe and wise. So call 622-8333 for more information.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we sometimes there's just things that happen in that neighborhood. So
it is. We have to be safe.
Life happens. So.
Yep. That is right.
It was a little different than when they built it in the J.P. White style. Neighborhood was a
Good
little
old
different back
days.
then. It was slightly different back
good
then.
old days. Hey, we appreciate you.
RoswellNMHistory.org. History, don't look for a historical site for Southeast New Mexico on Facebook. History Director at Outlook.com is her website. And the phone number I never remember.
622-8333, or you can text me, 575-915-4471 for more information.
Yeah, absolutely. And then come on out, Texas Roadhouse tomorrow night. Beginning at 3 p.m. till close. You can come in, bring that flyer either on your phone or a physical piece of paper.
Or log on to social media if you forget at the last minute.
Absolutely. And then we'll see you on Wednesday at the poll, too.
Yay,
9 a.m.
right.
right in front of the J.P. White home. And
It's just about 15 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
You're welcome to stay as long.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, ma'am. We'll see
Happy
you next
day.
time.
Appreciate it.
All right, it is 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. That's going to do it for us. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Have a great day, everybody. Get off. I just realized it said 59 and 58. I'm an idiot. It's Monday. I got a whole another minute to kill here. So, real quick, since we're talking history, if you missed my interview last hour, this Saturday at the Roswell Public Library is their Blackdom's Legacy Day. If you want to learn about the if you ever drove by the sign there, if you're heading to Artesia and wonder what that's all about, 1 to 4 p.m., they're doing a big event here with Maureen in the Bondurant Room. Come on out and learn about it. They're going to have photographs and artifacts, court records, and some of the stuff. And I like to think that there's still some descendants that may be living in the area. Hope you're listening. I'd love to see you come out to the library and check that out. So, but again, that's this Saturday, 1 to 4 p.m. at the Roswell Public Library at the Bondurant Room. Now we're a minute ahead, and my Monday is over. So you're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Have an amazing day. Thanks for allowing us to be a part. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. President Trump is
American imports. In Mr. Trump's words, if they charge us, we charge them.
That's correspondent Rich Thomason reporting. Also at townhall.com, with reporters aboard Air Force One on Sunday, President Trump says Gaza is a demolition zone, ripe for redevelopment by the U.S. and other countries.
I'm committed to buying and owning Gaza. As far as us rebuilding it, we may give it to other states in the Middle East to build sections of it. Other people may do it through our auspices.
The president said Arab nations would agree to take in Palestinians after speaking with him, and insisted Palestinians would leave Gaza if they had a choice. National Weather Service lead forecaster Bob Orvik says another winter storm is going to be forming across the plains.
We're going to see another swath of heavy snow, but this next swath of heavy snow is going to be to the south of where the previous one was. So at the moment, we expect potential for heavy snow all the way from areas of Kansas eastward into the upper Ohio Valley, central Appalachians, and into the mid-Atlantic, where snow totals of anywhere from 4 to 6 inches are possible.
National Weather Service forecaster Bob Orvik. Donald Trump made history Sunday as the first sitting president to attend the Super Bowl. As for the game itself, the Philadelphia Eagles made it clear they were the Super Bowl champs with a 40-22 victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. Quarterback Jalen Hurts wins the Super Bowl MVP. On Wall Street, stocks are higher. The Dow is up 77 points.